first because then I got another game going.
Hello. We are properly live, indeed. Hello, hello. This is episode number 7 now. We've done. This is our 7th.
Are we?
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah, I looked at the last stream and it said episode 6, so this must be episode 7. And that's...
Oh no, we're in the Force Awakens era.
Yeah, we are now in the sequel era. We're going the full 9 before the Summoned comes out. Right, and then like the
Awakened references.
the comeback will be for all the Star Wars stories like Rogue One and Han and Solo,
Yeah.
and we'll even maybe throw some of the Acolyte in there. Never know.
A thing I need to watch still.
It's terrible, don't.
Well, no, you want to watch it for the.
Honestly, no. I had 3 episodes of the Acolyte because I try and give everything like the 3-episode try, and I couldn't. It's just not great.
No.
Like the
That's a shame.
The general story just isn't there. It's just not engaging.
They'll soon have enough to like have their own catalog of like this is the required viewing for all the like really crappy stuff.
Oh yeah.
This is the Star Wars holiday special. Right. This is the Ewoks adventure. Yeah. Okay, so
Don't like it. Okay.
we last left off with you guys just getting into orbit around Ord Mantell. You did manage to legally purchase a ship, which is something I didn't expect, to be honest. I thought you were going to steal one.
Look, sometimes
we did that like 3 episodes ago.
Yeah.
What, legal or illegal?
Stealing a ship.
Oh yeah. We're past that.
I've done that.
We're past it.
What of that now?
Keeping chat on their toes.
Yeah, just a little bit.
They thought we were gonna steal a ship. Ha
Ah, joke's on you. We went to Sleazy Joe's ship stead.
Fuck you, we went to Sleepy Joe's.
But yeah, so interesting times. So
Yes.
you have basically an open galaxy in front of you. Is there any place you could think of where you might be able to make a little bit more money or find something interesting to do in terms of finding upgrades for yourselves?
As we previously discussed just now, we've made a little bit of an error, an admin error, so you say. That none of us are driving without any insurance, any license to carry anything.
I'm going to say that yes, you have registered the vehicle, and all that sort of stuff. You've got the correct like transponders and all that sort of thing that was set up when you bought it. You do not have yet a license to carry cargo.
Shit.
I've been a nasty girl.
Where do we might want to do that. So
A couple of trustworthy people like us who wouldn't want to get back sell us cargo.
Yeah, exactly. We're not only are we trustworthy, we're quite handy.
Oh, fuck you.
Take a D4.
Yes. First one.
That was honestly the worst so far.
You're welcome. Where's my D4s? Dip into the bag of hell.
Right, I'm going to describe this one. You feel like a little coldness in your chest as you say that, as the entirety of the force just leaves this area around you.
It's gone.
I love the idea.
Excellent. There you go. Well deserved 4.
Yeah, there it is.
Nice.
A well deserved 4 points of damage. Yep, I fully deserve that one for that.
So, if you want to be able to carry cargo legally,
yes,
you're going to have to work on getting a freight license.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we'll see.
Can't be that hard. We got a ship.
It will involve dealing with Imperials.
Yeah, that's the part I'm not too excited about.
Yeah.
dealing with the Imperials, and we don't have our Imperial guy. He's gone to sleep. So
Yes, he is currently in a sleep.
we're a bit on our own for this one. So I don't know if you want to, joyride for a bit.
I mean, you could get
Make sure
yourselves
we get
into
caught.
trouble whilst he's asleep.
Oh god, please no.
I mean, you can talk.
Yeah, I don't do work.
Might be worth getting out of this particular system. That way, we're kind
Yeah.
of starting fresh with the law. I mean, I don't think we're in like too hot of water.
So, are you thinking somewhere on a different quadrant of the galaxy?
Yeah, I think we need to get out of here just so we're not, If anyone does know who we are, we're not, immediately going.
Let me get up my Star Wars
The second we
Galaxy map that
become
I've been
wanted-
using.
We just start, yeah.
Yeah, because like if we're like shipping stuff and we're wanted, they'll basically have us on the police system and be like, "Huh, you guys are criminals." Fascinating.
Yeah.
Those guys.
How kind of you to come to us.
Yeah, well, the guys with the bounty on them. Cool.
Oh, look, and you've given us a tracking number too. Excellent.
Hey, we don't need to work.
The ship that they registered, the one that they're currently leaving in. Yeah, we have all their information. We can just follow them.
Okay. Let's find where you are. You are a little bit north of Galactic Center at Ord Mantell. So, along your hyperspace lane, like your big hyperspace route at the moment, Agamar is on this route. Ord Cestus, and then if you get onto that one, there's a couple more. You can get to Corsin, and then into the Galactic Core. Do you want to be do you want to be more outer rim traders?
I would say we probably don't want to mess too much with the Imperials.
Yeah.
We've had a real rough few minutes with them.
Yeah.
And let's just say they're not particularly our friends.
Yeah.
We sort of run in there, start blasting, and then never ask any other questions. I think our last interrogation went, "How are you?" Bang. Let's get going. So maybe not.
I
Yeah.
think we were trying to impersonate tax audit.
That too.
That was a thing.
The whole us faking that we're the IRS
We're the X-Men.
of the space world probably not going to do us any favors.
So, in order to get outer rim from where you guys are, you're going to have to travel through the core. Through the core worlds.
Fine.
We'll be fine.
Right, because basically what you do is you go galactic southwest to Dorin and then take a very, very, very big hyperspace lane all the way down to sort of like Tatooine area.
Yeah.
You get like Rhodia, Tatooine, Ryloth, all that area, like Scarif's in that area as well. Bothawa.
I'll throw this out there. I don't know a thing about Star Wars. I definitely don't know a thing about Star Wars locations. So if you guys see a place, it's like, oh yeah, that's like a really cool Star Wars place.
So I assume you know Tatooine.
Yeah.
Right. Ryloth is where Nomi's people come from, Una's people come from, Twi'leks. Rhodia is Rhodian's Greedo. Alright, he's a Rhodian. Bothawa, obviously, there's the throwaway line in Revenge of the Sith, which is many Bothans died to bring us this information. Geonosis is in that area as well, but that's a dead world at this point.
Yeah.
Scarif was in Rogue One, that's where they steal the Death Star plans from.
I'm guessing we're sort of post-Alderaan.
This is pre-Alderaan, actually. Yeah, Alderaan is still around, it's just northeast of Galactic Center.
So, okay. Yeah, I think we need to head out of Rim. We need to sort of let's get ourselves started and keep our heads down as much as we can for now.
Yeah, this is an extensive. This is an extensive galaxy map. So much so that I don't know all the planets that are on this map.
Yeah, I think we head out.
I assume that a lot of these are places from Star Wars content that's beyond me. Like I don't know too much about Old Republic stuff.
This is why we need Matt.
Yes, Matt would be fantastic in this.
Matt would love it. Matt would also give us a 6-hour dialogue.
Yes. But yeah, so yeah, those are your options. If you want to go Outer Rim, you've got to take a hyperspace lane. It's a short hyperspace lane, relatively. Sorry, I don't know what the scale of this is. But it'll probably take you about a week or two to get there.
Okay. Yeah, I think we start heading out. We've caused enough damage as it is.
So
currently.
We have much more damage to cause someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First things first, you're gonna have to work your way out of the planetary traffic in order to get to the hyperspace jump point. Because it won't work this close to the planet. So
And that's me.
that is you. Pilot skill, please. Piloting roll.
Am I the
Yeah.
co-pilot, by the way?
You can be if you like. So luckily we've got 4 of you, and there is pilot, co-pilot. Co-pilot also controls the nose, like the chin gun, basically. The blaster cannons. And then there are 2 dorsal blaster cannons as well. So one at the top, one at the bottom. So we've got 2 people for those as well in case you get attacked.
Excellent.
Yep. That's what the robots are here for.
16.
16. Okay, yeah. You.
Am I assisting? If I'm the co-pilot, would I assist at all?
You, I would say, would be doing jump
Would I be doing
calculations, like hyperspace calculations and things like that,
fair enough.
plugging all of the things into the hyperdrive computer.
Yeah, so I just do as I'm told, pretty
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
Don't fuck it up.
Can I
So just wanted to
have
clarify that because that came to my brain.
a law check for you to see if you know a route to go?
Who?
All of
Me
you.
or all of us?
Yeah, I'll open it out
What
to
are we
all
doing?
of you. So
What are we doing,
a
sorry?
law check just to see how well you know your galaxy.
Okay.
Who knows their maps?
Not me. 7.
15.
Hang on.
To be
16.
honest,
Okay.
I stayed in the same space a lot.
Yeah.
This one fell into my lap.
21.
21. So all 3 of you except Alex have a general idea. I have a really pretty good idea of where you are in the galaxy, and where you need to go. And Una, you have basically the route mapped out in your mind of what planets you need to drop out of hyperspace to get on a different hyperspace lane.
Cool. Am I pretty much doing the whole thing of seeing what Mavik is putting in, and then just kind of changing the coordinates to where we actually need to go?
Mavic is concentrate.
where we
So
are?
Mavic isn't here. No, it is Mavic. Bash is the
It
other
is
one.
Mavik. Actually, it's not.
Mavic is mainly focused on making sure he doesn't crash into any other ships out there. Like Ord Mantell, it's a pretty prosperous trade hub. Right, it sits on a good couple of hyperspace lane endpoints. So the traffic it's not gridlock or anything like that, but it's not like traffic either. You're getting points where you would often have to either move out of someone's way or see if someone's going to move out of your way or anything like that whilst you're sort of meandering through traffic lanes in order to get out to the jump point. But yes, Nomi, Una, you know that you have to drop out of hyperspace at Doran and then take another hyperspace route to Coruscant. And then that is the last time you drop out of hyperspace before a very, very long run down to Tatooine.
Right. I will relay that to Mavik and be like, "This is what we need to do."
Right.
By the
However,
way.
if you drop out a little bit earlier, you can get to Rhodia instead.
Ooh.
Well, Yeah, let's just see how
So-
everyone lets us through first, and let's,
My main
Okay.
question is where do you want to go? I've listed a couple of planets in the general area.
I think let's do Tatooine, because
Yeah.
everyone knows that planet.
Yes, thank you.
Everyone knows that one.
I
and-
volunteer
pretty
and
famous
say that
one.
I don't.
Yeah, no, you don't. But we can start.
That's before I put you
Uh,
down in Mos Espa, which none of you know about.
No,
It was a cool the setting looks cool.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, big city. I like it.
but we can
It's,
start. putting
it's
that-
depressing. The one guy born on Star Wars Day who knows the least about Star Wars.
it's-
So,
I honestly can't
yay.
believe that.
Literally, it's depressing.
Mm.
Exactly.
Right, let's head to Tatooine and
So-
we can start.
Nomi, I will give you, since you rolled really, really well on your lore check, I will give you a piloting with advantage to plug in the hyperdrive computer.
Oh,
With everything where... Oh, there it is. Same thing. I rolled an 18 again. Cool, so that's another 21.
Hell yeah, it's advantage, remember?
Oh, it was an advantage. Roll again. That's an 11, so we'll take the 21.
21. So, Nomi, you plug in the coordinates, like, just deftly, as if you've been there before, and you hear all of the whines and whirs of the hyperdrive starting up, right? You hold on to it for a moment until you get the signal from Mavic that he's ready for, you're at the jump point and ready to shift into hyperspeed.
yeah.
Right.
I'm making sure the area is clear as well. So we
Yeah, area's clear so you don't ram into someone, do a holdo maneuver. That's next episode.
Yeah.
Not episode
That's our
7, that's
escape
episode 8.
Oh, the Last Jedi of episode.
Yes, exactly. This is going to be an exact copy as episode 4, so I'm just going to have to rewatch that quick.
Play it on 4 times speed.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, so Mavic holds you for like a moment, 2 moments, and then he nods, and you push forward on a set of throttles, and
It's proper.
yeah, it's you're getting like the Force theme as this happens, by the way. But yeah, so leans pushes the throttles forwards. Engines were like up to really high pitched, and you watch as the stars in front of you elongate all around you, and boom, you are in the vortex spinning around, and you've probably got about half a day before you get to this first drop point where you drop out of hyperspace. So, is there anything you guys want to do in the meantime, like maintenance or checking out further inside the ship?
I would love to check out inside the
Yeah.
ship a little bit more.
Get used
Also,
to
have
it.
we healed up because we've like traveled a few
I
days?
will
and
say you haven't healed up just yet because this is still technically the same day. But after the next jump, I will say you'll have the long rest and you'll have everything back. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to have a look further around the ship, let me get my map up for it because I remember I had this.
Mhm.
Okay, but that's still going. It is right.
Ooh.
It's not the right one.
I know, me personally, I mentioned to do some weapons testing on these.
Yeah.
See what see what we're working with, but you just let me know when we are.
So here's cockpit. So
I was gonna say, let's not fire off weapons right now.
you do have 4
Yeah.
seats inside the cockpit. Obviously, pilot seat is the left one. That's the one Mavic's in. Right seat's co-pilot, which is the one that Una is in. Between the two of you, there is like a hollow map of any solar system that you jump into, any star system you jumped into. At the moment, it's blank because you're not in one. Then there's a couple of consoles without seats behind those two, and then a further 2 consoles with seats behind those 2, and that's where you're sat, the 2 droids. Because obviously you do want to strap in for the hyperspace jump.
Yeah.
That's the main cockpit area. From here, you just have a bunch of flashing lights and buttons in front of you that you don't really know what they do yet.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I was going to say,
Buttons that you don't
I would have,
know what they do.
I would have
yet.
Press
rolled.
everything.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do
Right.
that.
I was going to say, because there could have been some bad things happening there.
Check the door.
No, that could have been shields going down and you breaking up in hyperspace.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Why would they put the button
Turning
there?
all of you into basically atoms.
And that was the end of the episode.
And that's the end of that's going to be great if I ever decide that I'm done with this. Right, great. But your shields fail in hyperspace, you're now all atoms. Now that you're in hyperspace, you don't need to strap in. It's kind of a smooth ride. Do you decide to get up and actually have a proper look around the rest of the ship?
I'm gonna have a look around.
Yes.
Okay.
That's not fun.
Assume you've activated like autopilot or other.
Yeah, hyperspace is generally autopiloted. It'll just beep when you're getting close to the jump point for your next dropout.
Yeah, pretty straight line. You know.
So, no, me sneezing.
Sorry.
Behind that is the main sort of hallway area of the ship. It runs basically all the way back to the engine compartment.
Mhm.
And then on the two sides of those is the main cargo bays. So there's two doors a little bit down, maybe like 10 feet away from the door to the cockpit. A door on either side there, and then another 20 feet down, there's another further two doors, each going to each side of the cargo bay. Then behind that, there's just a bit of sort of nothing space where you're bringing things into the ship and you don't want it to have any sort of clutter in it. And then on each side, other than that, there's the airlocks. And then going further back of the ship, you see the sort of engineering space where you can get a look in the engines and all that sort of stuff. However, in the center of the hallway, there is the a hatch that leads to the lower deck.
Ooh.
See if
There won't be much down here.
It's a smaller area.
Mm.
It is smaller, maybe sort of 60% the size of the upper deck. But this is the crew quarters.
Nice.
So, coming down the hatch ladder immediately, to the left and right are two bunk rooms. Right, set of bunk beds in each, desk, and sort of like toilet, sink area, small like bathroom basically.
I won't be using that anytime soon.
Another 20 feet down the hall is another two set of doors, and looking in those, same deal, just mirrored. Further back is a... I don't actually know what this is. This looks like another engineering area. But there's some flammable things in the rear of the compartment that you see maybe feed the engines.
Don't put your hands in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
To the right-hand side of that compartment is a small one-person escape pod.
Okay.
Maybe
How
two at a
long?
stretch. Right, but you would be squeezed.
Not the bot size.
Not... Well, it would fit RV in it, but not much else.
Yeah.
It would be just RV. That's it. On the left-hand side of that compartment is an L-shaped console with a singular chair, and you can imagine that's sort of like monitoring engine temperatures and power fluctuations. That's your damage control site as well. That's where the damage control console is. And then there's at the front of the lower compartment is the sort of living area of the ship, where you've got a table for eating with an L-shaped sort of booth bench around there. There's another one with a set of consoles with entertainment and media on them, a hollow chess table, and a small cooking area as well.
Nice. So,
And obviously,
common area.
at the front of that is the on-ramp.
Mhm.
So you came through there when you came in. Obviously, there's a bunch of cupboards in the kitchen area. There doesn't seem to be too much actual food, so you might have to make a food run at some point. There's probably a couple of like day rations. The hollow chest table doesn't work.
Aw, boo.
It flickers for a moment, but you think maybe the projector is faulty.
Right, I've got a project for tonight then. Mavic found a project.
Yeah. And the hollow, the entertainment console appears to be showing a recent swoop bike race.
Right. Okay. Well, it's
Swanky
Right.
place.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
obviously if you zoom in on the the maps of the Y2 the YZ929, you'll be able to see most of what I described.
929.
Yeah.
Sheep.
Imagine coming into my chat trying to spam bot mess, getting insta-banned.
Ew. Gross. There's a floor plan. I think I found one a while ago, didn't I?
Yes, I have been using that one.
That was on Reddit.
It was. But yeah. Other than that, you find general sort of like tools in the engineering bay that would help you make sort of maintenance to the ship and repair any sort of like wear and tear or minor damages. On your console, Nomi, you do have a lot of navigational info.
Okay.
You do have a small readout of a galactic map. Without planet names, but you generally know whereabouts planets are and stuff. But yeah, so you've got a little bit of time to yourselves if you want to go over your gear, see if there's anything you can do with it. I will be open to suggestions.
Yeah, I think. Well, I'm gonna leave the chess table till afterwards. That could be an evening task for me. Mavic is looking forward to that as a treat for themselves.
Yeah.
My first thought was how much stuff could I put on Bashi while they're asleep?
You're gonna play Buckaroo.
Here's a little bit of a sheet. Here's a chair.
I would like you to roll me sleight of hand if you're gonna do that.
God, I hope Reese just joins right now.
No, he's away, unfortunately.
Damn.
I'm on sleight of hand, yeah, which is. Oh, nat 20.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Nice.
So looking around the cockpit area, there isn't too many things to actually put on him, but he's in the living area, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you go down there and you look in one of the bunk spaces.
Mm-hmm.
And you just find like a blanket, some pillows. There's a tray plate almost that's been taken in there, a couple of data pads that don't seem to be being used right now. And you start slowly piling things up on him. I'm gonna roll to see. I'm gonna roll for Bashi to see how well
This
he.
is becoming Buckaroo.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Because he is gonna have a chance to wake up. So I'll just. That's a D20, and because it's gonna be a disadvantage because he's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
That's a D20. It was a 9 and a 7. I don't know what his perception is, but I imagine it's not the greatest because he's his charisma based. So I'm going to say he doesn't wake up, and you just continue starting. Like you go down to the engineering bay, get some tools, right, and you just start placing tools very carefully. At one point, you think one of them's going to slip, but you like sort of catch it before it does, and just slowly push it back up.
I go to RV. RV, give me some more things. Any more?
Alright.
I'm running out of things.
But yeah, after a little while, you've basically made like a House of Cards-esque thing on top of Bashi that it just seems none the wiser to.
He's gonna have fun when he wakes up.
Or S4 just walks up and notices. So like, Nice. I approve.
Don't clap your hands too loud. He'll wake up.
That's another perception check.
Another what?
It was so he did roll a natural 20,
Fuck.
Nice.
but the other roll was also a 9. So still no.
I go. Or we're leaving.
Alright.
I don't know if he sleeps with his lightsaber, but I don't want to test it.
You know that he
Thought you
does.
would.
Okay, he sleeps with his lightsaber. Get out. We just repaired you. Get out.
Okay, fine.
I don't want to waste my wielding on you. After he
Right.
cuts it up.
Has anyone got anything else they'd like to do?
I think we make a plan for what we all want to do when we're down there. Obviously, we need food. We need some sort of supplies. We have, this is sort of empty.
So remember, your first drop point is a planet called Dorin, and I'm going to look that one up quickly because I don't know what it's about.
Also, we should go shopping. Let's decorate the place.
Remember, you guys
it's
are mostly
always for
broke.
a character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We can do that once we have a bit more fun.
we could definitely get.
Oh, I know this place.
Oh yeah.
One thing I am gonna do.
I had a Star Wars D&D character from here.
Oh yes, you did.
This is where I don't remember his name.
I sort of do. One of your long name characters.
No. It was my from when the first time we played Star Wars D&D. It was my original character.
Oh, the guy, the breathing apparatus.
Yeah, the
thing.
Keldor, but I
Yeah.
can't remember what Nis Okran. That's what I called him.
There you go.
But yes, so it's where Plo Koon is from, if you know him.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right, if you just look up Keldor, you will find out what they look like. So you can't breathe on this planet.
No.
You would have to wear rebreathers.
Do we have rebreathers?
You can.
Well, I guess the droids don't, but
The droids don't
we do
need to
know.
breathe, no.
I do.
Oh, well.
But you can check around the ship for some rebreathers.
Mm.
I have no. Can I make one?
Might take some time. That's quite a lot of
Depends on
engineering.
if you can find the right stock on the ship.
Yeah, you'd have to use stuff from the ship, and I don't trust.
Yeah. Also,
don't
while
think there is-
because I was assigned to stay on in the cockpit, sort of keeping an eye on things. While we were waiting to sort of get to where we are, we're just going to slowly start doing little bits of graffiti by the chair.
Yeah, sure.
Just little decorations. Just
what would
little,
we-
like,
what-
paintings and drawings, as I can.
When they're not looking, I'm definitely drawing some dicks.
Oh, I've already done that.
Damn it! I beat me to it.
I've just drawn a like one of the huts with like a dick for a head.
Nice.
Angry eyes.
Please do a performance check for that, just so we can see how good they are.
Why does that guy have a rocket ship on his head?
Oh, it's not just a rocket ship. Where it
Okay,
is.
so
Oh, man. Hey, I get +1.
I've found some things that make this place a little bit dangerous.
18.
No.
Okay,
Oh, no.
yeah. Nomi,
I'm rolling good again for now.
you managed to make a good couple of bits of the graffiti, including the guy where you cut his hand off and threw him out the window.
Yeah.
You drew him with just like a big old dent in his brain, and missing a hand.
Like flashy with his lightsaber, just like
Yeah.
throwing the hands out the window.
Yeah. The huts. You do a little jab of the hut with what was it?
With a dick on his head because
So,
he's an
okay,
asshole.
yeah. And then the guy, the rebel operative who shot you, you draw him with no legs and just like dicks for legs.
Yes.
All right. Adding a note to add door to cockpit.
So, would you like a little bit of lore on the place you're going to?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
So this planet is situated between two black holes,
Poor.
right?
Okay.
Which makes access to the planet very limited, and any space travel around the area is very, very difficult.
Mhm.
The atmosphere of the planet contains very little oxygen, and it doesn't really support life except to its obviously its inhabitants who evolved to withstand that. So mainly the planet itself like revolves around like industry and technology. Like its main export is technology based systems and its big industry in that area. However, the actual people on Keldor are pretty altruistic. They're pretty nice generally. However, if you do break the law or cause offense, they will call you out on it and they will get justice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone on best behaved.
Very
Right.
much.
Pressing you, Mavic.
I'm sorry. I mean,
If you
may I
want
switch to Una?
any more info, I'm going to go for a law check.
I will.
I will as
I will
well.
go for a law check.
Well, everyone then.
Right.
We all want to know.
Is that gold? I don't know. Can I?
Well,
Harvey's just got all this in a database. He doesn't actually know any of this. We'll just like look it up real quick.
I know a lot about a lot of different planets. I don't know a lot about this one.
Can I balance the dice on that? Yes, I can.
And I go, that's definitely not my implementation.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
14.
Okay. Nomi, well, Una, you know that the wind and the weather here is very powerful and unpredictable on the planet. Most of the buildings, like the buildings on the planet, are constructed specifically to withstand these things. A lot of it's underground, where the wind obviously isn't a problem. And then you know that there was a large battle here during the Clone Wars. But other than that, there's not really much to it.
Right, okay.
But yeah. That's what you know about the planet you're going to. So do you want to make a stop here, or do you want to just carry on straight away after you drop out of hyperspace?
Do you guys want to make a little stop?
I don't mind either way.
Wouldn't hurt.
Getting supplies sounds nice.
Yeah, some supplies would be good. You know.
Okay.
Just even if it's just supplies we're going for.
Yeah.
Well then.
Not a long haul visit.
About 3 hours later, Nomi, you first notice it as well. You first notice it because you're the person in the co-pilot seat. A white light starts blinking and a small beeping tone sounds.
What is that? There's a thing.
I'm pretty sure that's the one that tells us to get out of warp space before we not crash, but like come to a really sudden stop.
I don't have the.
You can
what the last ship.
you can make a piloting check to see if you know what that means.
Piloting. Dirty 20 again.
Nice.
I'm going to take that die off of you.
You can. I haven't touched it. You can look for yourself.
I
have a +3. I rolled a 17.
You do know that
You're not taking my dice away from me again.
having been on ships before, you know this tone from big gravity well detected. You might want to get out of hyperspace.
Okay. Gravity increase. Get out of the speedy zone.
Wow, said so eloquently.
Yeah, true pilot lingo.
We'll work on that. I jump back in the seat. And
You
check
pull the
forward.
throttles back, and the stars, like, it's basically the opposite of what happened when you entered hyperspace, where instead of the stars elongating, suddenly they contract, and out of seemingly nowhere, a large planet with sort of yellowy, orangey, browny hue to it looms large in your view screen, on your viewport.
Oh, Ugh.
Immediately you are buffeted by gravitational waves from the two black holes to either side of the planet.
Oh boy. Okay, everyone strap in.
Oh, boy.
Seatbelts on.
Right.
Everyone.
Have them.
Everyone.
And you feel yourself slowly being dragged to your right.
All right, I'm gonna try and fight back as much as possible and try and go. There's two on either side.
There's
right?
one on either side. You appear to be closer to the one on the right.
Are they super close to the planet, or are they just sort of like enough a further distance away, but they have a really strong pull?
So
'Cause obviously, if they have enough spin room, might be enough. We might be all right.
yeah. Looking on the map, they're sort of 90 degrees from the planet. So one is sort of galactic north of where the planet is. The other is galactic southeast, sorry. So you're kind of in between the two of them, but you're closer to the one at the north.
Okay, I'm gonna try my best and try and like fight as much as I can to try and land.
Yeah, I will take piloting check, please. If Nomi, you want to be helping with the navigation, I will say that you can have it with advantage.
Yep.
Just try not to
Wait,
think
no, I
about
do
that it's
roll.
all of our physical
Alex gets
bodies at
advantage.
stake. If you
Yeah,
just
you might about.
Shut up.
Oh, okay.
So I don't roll. Alex just gets the.
You might
advantage,
be
right?
about to get spaghettified.
Are you giving me the advantage?
Yes, if Nomi,
Yeah.
Nomi,
Yeah, I mean-
Nomi said they're helping you, so you have the
Oh
advantage.
for God! Thank fuck. Right. I'll just tell you why. So with my current, but I rolled a 9.
Oof,
Oh,
you gotta hope this one's higher.
that's a 9.
Oh,
Nice.
oh dear.
Not like that's
Wow.
a 4 I just rolled.
Very
Oh
consistently.
no. Right. Hang on. I have no ears for a moment. Give me a
We're
second.
going on a trip in our very rugged ship, going through the sky.
We're going to die.
We're gonna die.
So you turn stern to the black hole to try and get some gravitational help from the planet itself, whilst like
Yeah.
firing thrusters. You certainly feel like you were going towards it, and you feel some acceleration. So you don't think you're going towards it anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but not much is really moving.
Come on.
Right.
feel
If
rough-
anyone
rough
wants, if anyone can think of anything to help,
I bet. Hold on. Let me go look at my skills before I just start saying things. But I bet there's some tech mumbo jumbo that we can work with here, like maybe diverting power to engines.
could help.
Yeah.
My
I've already
character's
tried
not
helping.
good
Not
at that
sure
stuff.
what else I
Oh,
can do.
no. I'm just having a look and see what. No. Reboot would be a terrible situation right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just turn the ship off for a minute. Assess the situation. Yeah, I think I know what's happening.
You can use that.
Black hole. I mean, yeah. I mean, the target would be the planet. You take a sensory snapshot of a target within range. Your tech grants you a brief insight into the target's defenses.
Yeah, no, that's not
Black
helpful
hole.
right now.
Nah. No, not great. Dismantle would be also terrible.
Yeah, you should dismantle ship.
Yeah, no, I'm fucked. Anyone else? got
You
any
don't
bright
have to
ideas?
necessarily use a skill. If you have an idea of something you can do that might help with what's happening.
Excellent. In that case,
yeah.
going for the diverting power to engines idea.
Okay.
You know what? We don't need
Yeah.
the TVs and well, we need the front monitors, but we don't need like the downstairs TVs and stuff like that right now.
No. You know what? Yeah, divert as much power as we can.
Okay, make an investigation check to see if you can locate where that would be.
Right. 13.
13. You remember whilst you walked through the ship with S4 whilst he was sort of like looking around. And you remember seeing something about sort of power levels and general engineering and maintenance down on the lower deck in the engine bay.
Excellent. We can divert power to make the engines go harder, right?
Yep.
Is that like a hard thing to do?
We'll find out.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay, you have a few minutes, or we all die. No pressure.
No
Right, you can hear the straining of the hull as you you make your way out of the cockpit, down the ladder, through the living spaces, and towards the back of the air, and you can hear the hull creaking and straining as the power from the engines and they're getting hotter. But you don't really seem to be moving anywhere. The pull of the gravitation, like the pull of the gravity of the black hole, seems to be keeping you firmly in place for now. So yeah, you make your way through the hatch into the actual engineering space, and to your right is a L-shaped console with a chair, and you imagine that might be a pretty useful space.
Excellent. So it's like a computer system that you can like start working in.
It's something similar to that.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, dials, buttons, switches.
RV will go take a look over at that and see if there's see what he can do.
Yeah. I will say, what check do we want to use for this? I'll go general intelligence check.
Okay. Do we have like comms that can go work between?
There is a small comms button on the engineering console.
If Mavic can guide RV through this would make things a lot smoother. But I imagine, I know he's got a lot going on.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna ask for a roll from Mavic to see if he can multitask and do this. Alright, talk you through that whilst he's still trying to figure out if there's anything he can do on his end,
You hit the
and
code.
whilst piloting the ship.
Wow,
Yeah.
they have a lot of buttons on these things.
Nat 1.
Oh wow.
You don't even get a response. He just like he's too busy for like worrying about falling into a black hole to be worried about anything else right now. And there's just static on the comms.
He's probably busy. All right. Well, you know what? We'll just take the power away from the comms too.
We don't need those.
I don't need those right now. So you said general intelligence, right?
General intelligence.
Okie dokie.
I'm glad that's where I got the Nat 1. That's
It's accurate, to be fair.
It just turns off in the comms quickly. No.
Well, this natural 5 is also going to be pretty apt for the situation.
You look around at all of the dials and looking at like there's some switches and labels, and you're just looking around and you can't seem to pick out one that would be like power diversion or anything like that. You do see one button which would lower the shields, but you don't know whether that would do anything.
Yeah, probably not a good one at the moment. S4, go take a look at this.
Do you say that
Alright.
on the comms?
No, just call out really loudly.
Make a perception check, S4, please.
Okay.
You can hear
'Cause
it.
you're quite far away. You're down a deck and through like a hatch into the engineering space.
Yeah.
True.
12.
12. It's okay. You hear a murmur, like a noise akin to a voice from where RV went, but you don't hear what was said.
I pull out my gun ready. RV, is that you?
Oh god.
Death,
Okay.
Just faintly just heard something, but don't know what it is.
death
So
rendering
just cautious.
scenario. Death rendering scenario.
What do you do, S4?
I will make my way to wherever I heard that mysterious noise, which
Okay.
is totally, I think, RV.
Well, you knew where he was going, so that's kind of the first place you check. And yeah, you go down the ladder onto the lower deck, and through to the engineering space. And it takes like longer than you would because you're obviously like clearing the like the crew quarters along the way, just making sure that there's no creepy like something that shouldn't be there that there's there along your way. But yeah, after like a minute, you walk through the hatch in the engineering space and see RV just looking at the console, going, "What the fuck do I do?"
That's what button? What button should we push? Which one of these
What,
turns
what
things
to
off?
what to get rid of the mysterious thing I heard roaming around? Because I heard something like there's
was
some
me.
creature here. That was you,
Yes, we're all about to die.
right? All right,
Concentrate, man.
all right. What am I
Concentrate.
looking at? What am I looking at? Let's see here.
So in front of you is
Buttons.
yeah. In front of you is the L-shaped console where there are quite a few flashing lights. One of them is basically like a set of flashing lights in a line with green, orange, and red. And you're currently climbing into the orange of that light, of that light set. You don't quite know what it means, but you can imagine getting into the red of that wouldn't be good.
Right.
But yeah, so there's like 5 green lights, 3 orange, 3 red, and you're on the first one of the orange right now. Looking around the rest of the console, it is a wash of flashing red and white lights, switches, dials, and buttons. Please make a general intelligence check.
Okay.
Got this.
You've got this, I believe, both of you.
We can put our computing powers together on this.
14.
14. That's a bit better. So, you do see a small set of switches in the lower right corner of the L-shaped desk, which would deal with power fluctuations. And you think, power, that's got to be something good, right? And so you start looking around that area of the console. And after like half a minute of just like searching through buttons and switches, and you come to power diversion. Right, really, really small written on there, right, as if someone thought of it as an afterthought. But it is there. Right, and looking at the rest of the desk before you did so, you do read on the that line of LED of lights. That is engine temperature.
Yeah, that's not good.
But you have found the power diversion console.
Nice. So would we, at least would S4 know, like, this is what I have to do to remove power from these areas?
I will give this to both of you. Either you can each roll an investigation check, or one of you can roll with advantage.
S4, what's your intelligence?
My intelligence is +1.
Better than mine. Yep, take your advantage.
All right. Let's see.
RV's
So
just gonna start listing
investigation.
off like, well, they need to still breathe, so we
Okay.
gotta leave that on.
Yeah, you got to leave life support on. You can't like
We don't need, like, the
organics
weapons
need to
right now.
breathe.
Yeah.
All right, ship's
Shields
light.
probably should
Yep.
stay.
Ship's lighting.
Right. Yeah.
Right, so that is
In
13 and 9 with that.
So
advantage?
yeah, you have weapons power, shield power, engine power, life support. Basically all of those. Oh, and sensors as well.
Okay. So are these all on, or do I need to turn them on?
So currently all of them are on, and they're all at nominal power.
And
Which means we
Right.
might be able to boost power on
yeah, if you can.
the
Right.
engines one.
You might be able to boost power on the engines one, but without taking power away from other places, you'll more than likely heat up the reactor and overload the power system.
Which will
That'd be bad.
black hole.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Just a hot reminder. Black. Oh, also, what's happening to Bashi? Pyramid.
Oh, yeah.
That pyramid is gathering perimeter drawn.
You haven't seen Bashi yet, so you assume that he hasn't woken up from all of the things going like a house of cards falling down. All the house of cards is still up.
Okay, good. And I don't know, but no, I just...
You have no idea, but he hasn't turned up. He hasn't woken up. Or he hasn't come to see you. At least.
Honestly, right now, it would be a bad time for everyone. Like, waiting to land the plane, then you can.
So here's the game plan. We'll take power away from weapons.
Yep.
And depending on if it's like a sliding scale, actually, you know what? Let's just not mess with life supports right now. I was gonna say maybe we could take down.
Yeah, leave life supports. We can turn off weapons. What was the other three?
So you have weapons, engines, shields, life support, sensors. Those are the ones you can pick out right now.
Oh god!
Should we also turn off sensors, or should we?
I don't know what those do.
Oh, and
I
comms.
think they might still need them.
There is comms as well.
We can turn those off.
Okay. Turn off comms. So turn off comms and weapons.
Okay. You turn off comms and weapons, and you hear a little like whirring down of power levels, but the engines haven't gotten any extra power to them at the moment.
Then we'll turn the engine one up.
So you see above each of the sliders for the for each power level, there is a covered switch with a little like sort of one of those little latch things you have to push up before you hit the switch that says overload.
Well, I mean, what's the alternative? Us falling into a black hole? Hit it.
You lift up the latch, flick the switch on, and so there's only one chair here. Which of you is sitting in the chair?
S4.
S4 is sitting in the chair. Make a dexterity saving throw, please. RV.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh no! Yeah, the big guy thrown around the ship.
All right, let's see how a +1 does for me. Well, I see the natural 5 is back. That's a 6.
Oh god.
Immediately as you like flip the switch, there is a big burst of acceleration as you feel like here. But it's basically like the cooling feedback loops are working overdrive in order to keep the engines cool enough so that they can just put out like maximum power, right? Going past like the safety procedures in order to do that. And you hear the rumble of the engines not like gradually get louder, it's an immediate jolt as they are basically pushing as much thrust as they can in order to get you away from this. And yeah, RV, you sort of stumble backwards for a moment and then clatter to the ground with a big clang. You don't go far enough to reach anything important, but you're just kind of on the floor, like, oh. The rest of you are pressed back into your seats.
Shit.
As the engine power is increased probably in the magnitude of about 150%.
Okay, right.
You do feel yourself now, you are getting away from the black hole, but it's not easy to control.
No.
All hands on deck, all hands on deck.
After a few seconds, you start to hear some worrying stress rumbling from the ship itself.
I go, who are you calling? The comlinks are off.
I'm yelling.
Right.
Yell louder.
Make me one more piloting roll, please.
No, I suggest you yell louder. I'm like a bird, I'm flying.
Wait. Did you roll once or twice, Alex? Because bear in mind, you've got co-pilot right now.
Have I got advantage on that?
That's a good question.
So there's not much navigation generally to do with this. This is more in generally just keeping control of the ship. So Nomi isn't going to be the greatest help in this one, so I'd say it's just a straight roll.
I'm in panic station then, apparently.
Okay, yes, we are, because that is a piloting.
Yep.
That is a 7.
Okay.
Nice.
You are basically doing your best to just keep this in a straight line right now, right? As the engine pressure, the engine thrust ramps up, and with a lot, and I mean a lot of actual physical exertion. At one point, the control yoke is almost ripped out of your hands from a sudden burst from the right engine, that you almost go into a spin. Right, but eventually you're sort of slowly coaxing it around to the planet, sort of get that in the view. Right, you maybe have a few seconds before you lose control of the ship. Is there anything you want to do?
Pray. Say some final
Pray.
words.
Well, my prey was ramming speed, but
Creator, I just want to know, it's been fun exploring the galaxy. I'm going to die today.
I think ramming speed is my next plan.
Wait.
Wait.
You might do it a whole second, but
Wait.
when I press the
With
accelerator,
what's his name?
John
Punisher
Baron
dude. John Baffin. Yeah.
I just click the accelerator. Well, been fun.
Right. Very much. You still do have throttle control.
Yeah, I know.
Please.
What?
Pardon?
Can I try and take over to salvage this, please?
If you can roll me a wisdom save to stop panicking, yes.
Nice.
Oh,
Mike,
that's
I was trying to get into the atmosphere, slow down, and then we could be safe. Just fucking
Oh,
gun
I
it.
see. Ramming speed is
That's
towards
an
the
8.
planet.
Yes.
It's a what? Sorry.
That's an 8. I am panicking in a corner, apparently.
Yeah. You're in your seat, basically white knuckle riding this.
Cool. And I only hear one plan. Here we go.
That's because Alex hasn't thought of the other easy plan to get out of this.
Nope.
Is it warp space?
It is not warp space. You're too close to the planet for that.
I was gonna if you
Gotcha.
It's the fact that he
Slash
still
something else.
has throttle control.
Throttle. I mean, I could.
Like the main throttle is still in the cockpit.
What does that mean?
So think of it as plane.
We're turning.
Think of it
we're-
as plane controls, right?
Yeah.
You have rudder pedals, right, at your feet. You have the control yoke in your main hand,
Yeah.
right, and then at the center console there is 2 sets of throttles, one for each engine. Yes, they've overloaded the power to them.
Oh, I could.
You could just
well,
lower the throttle
But
a
you
bit.
can step on the gas harder.
You can step on the gas harder, but they are currently at max output.
Oh,
and I
see.
will fucking bomb it.
Right.
If I turn, well, I can't turn them off. If I turn,
No,
them
you can't
down-
turn them off, but you can turn them down a bit.
Yeah. If I
Because
turn
you
them
are
down-
further away from the black hole now because you've overloaded the engines and given yourself a boost away.
Yeah.
The
okay.
gravity is less strong the further you get away from something.
Can I'll turn down the thrusters and try and
Right.
because if I'm out of its grasp.
Since it took that long for us to come to that conclusion.
I'm sorry, I've got a panicking.
Yeah, panicking co-pilot notwithstanding.
No. It's not helping the situation. Also, my robot has disappeared.
Right, this will not be a difficult DC, but a piloting check nonetheless.
Yes, absolutely. Come on. Do you know what? Fuck it, we're using a different dice. You've let me down. Orange dice. Hallelujah. Natural 20.
Okay.
Nice.
God, you guys were on the fucking cusp. Holy.
Oh, yeah, we were. Oh, fuck.
Put it this way. There was a limit to how many failures you could have.
Yep.
You were one more failure away.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, we would have been hot then.
Well, that's the end of the campaign then.
It would be.
They could go to his other group.
I
early.
didn't expect this to be it, but there has to be a limit somewhere. So yes,
Bashy doesn't wake up.
you pull down the throttles to like 75%, It still gives you more than 100% engine power because of the way that they've been overloaded. But it's not so much that it's not uncontrollable anymore. And you are still making headway away from the black hole.
Okay. We'll make as much headway as we can away from the hole, and we start descending into the planet.
And it's still a strong acceleration because obviously the further away you get from the black hole, the less interference it has, and the less you've still got like a really good amount of engine power going through the thrusters. You can see you two down in the engine bay that you are on light number 3 of the orange now. As the engine temperatures are going up.
Right. You start putting those down so that they're more back to normal. I'm gonna go into like a middle spot so we can like relay information.
Yeah, because the comms are still down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you turned them off.
How are we looking up there?
You do hear from down below, not loud, but you can tell that he said it loud of how we're looking.
Well, we were going to die. Now it's like a 60% less chance.
Should we turn the engine back to normal?
Please.
I mean, if you'd like to die, no.
I need clear instructions at this point.
All right,
I would prefer not to
turn
die.
it off. Turn it off.
Okay.
I need more basic programming.
S4, you can turn it back to normal now.
These guys run on Alexa AI. They can't understand complex sentences.
I'm sorry. I don't understand that right now.
Because of the time.
The time is currently.
Fantastic. But yes, so you managed to get the ship in a. So you're not aiming at the planet.
Yeah.
You're aiming sort of to the left of where the planet is and using the planet's gravity as a little sort of a boost away from the black hole. Yeah. And you're basically slowly creating a stable orbit around the planet in order for you to do further maneuvers. And yeah, it takes sort of like 5 minutes for that to actually get in place where you think, okay, we're not going to be pulled away by a black hole. We're good enough that we're gonna keep a stable orbit. And the engine temperatures. I take you flipped the switch down to drop the engines back to normal?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
They're still hovering around about at the 3 orange LEDs lit up still. So they're not going down in temperature, but they don't seem to be going up either. And yeah, you managed to create a stable orbit around Doran.
We did it, first job.
We haven't landed yet. Give it a minute.
Yeah. Landing, like, flying's the easy bit.
Well
Landing,
done for not landing yet.
Landing's the hard part.
I mean, can you hit S4?
No,
Well
S4
done for
did
hitting.
good.
No, just a light slap. Fine. There you go. That'll do.
You go like you stumble backwards like a good couple of steps because RV is pretty strong.
Yeah.
Bush,
Oh wait, hang on a second.
It's not a rolly chair, luckily.
No, because they'd be going like that.
Yeah, I didn't actually want to fall backwards because there's a table and a bed right there. So I'm not actually.
If it was a rolly chair, you would have gone like once you'd hit the overload the engine buttons, both of you would have just like gone backwards over like just proper like away.
Just down the corridor I go. No.
We just hear a rolling chair going, "What's going on down there?"
Yeah.
Rolling chair race, let's go. No.
All right. Okay.
That's why I've made them not rolling chairs. They're bolted to the deck.
Okay.
Good call. Good call.
Right. So we're in stable orbit. Can I try and approach a landing?
Yes.
Or at least head towards the planet?
Yeah. So you know how orbits work. In order to go down, you need to slow down. So you do a quick pitch of 180 degrees facing the exact wrong way. And you have the choice to fire the engines by how much is up to you.
Just a little more. I don't want to overcharge them.
Just you slowly eke onto the throttle, and you feel like the engines like sputter back to life as they've been stressed a little bit hard by this maneuver. But you feel like they're pretty even still. Like one engine's not taking any more than the other. And you feel like subtle acceleration slowly growing as you're putting on the correct amount of pressure. And after like sort of 5 seconds of slowly like pushing forwards on it, you think, okay, this is good enough. We'll leave it there. And you start slowly slowing down. And as you do, you see it's subtle at first, but you do see the planet sort of slowly getting larger in your field of view.
Yeah.
Much more sedately and
Yeah.
rather than current
less
approach
panicky than the original approach.
I hand my co-pilot a little whiskey from my
However, you're doing this manually because you don't have any sensors.
No.
We're going to turn those back on.
Are you going to basically put everything back to default?
Yes.
Right. And after a moment, you see on your screen suddenly the sensor panels flicker back to life with a readout of the planet. And once the comms back on, you realise you're being hailed.
Oh.
Oh,
I'll click the link and see who's calling me.
You hear a repeated message of YV1929, you are in Doran space, please respond.
I respond, hello, sorry about that. Turn everything off quickly.
The message starts to repeat itself again before it cuts off, and there's an actual person on the line. So, do you remember the original way that I used to talk as Nis Okran?
yeah.
I used to sound like this, so it was more kind of than having a
there it
mask.
is. Yeah, there it is. Going back to Bane, everyone.
Yes, we are.
I love how Nomi and Alex were just like, oh god, and I'm just like,
Now I'm excited.
What is
Getting
this?
the weirdest Pokemon season.
You don't want to know?
Oh, I used to be a dog trio. I'm played by a Welshman who is married and I think a father as well.
I don't know anymore.
You don't want to know. Moving on.
Yeah, I have
need
not talked
to
to Chippy
quickly
in ages.
find.
And Hannah.
Here we go. Major cities. Okay, that's the one. This is Dorshan Traffic Control. 929, send your transponder ID.
Do I know how to send that?
Yes, you do.
And
After a couple of
If you
button
don't send
presses,
it, we're going to be in trouble.
I'm going to send it.
you send the data packet and over the comms comes back. Proceed to landing pad 27.
And go. I yell, thank you. And now we head forward.
Well, backwards, forward.
Right.
All space, relative.
Right. Okay. The big yellow object in front of me.
It's sort of like a yellowy, orangey brown, that sort of colour.
We're heading that way. Wherever forward is.
And yeah, after making your re-entry entry calculations because you haven't come from this.
Yeah.
In the upper atmosphere, the wind isn't too bad, right? But as you're starting to get towards the lower atmosphere and through the cloud layers, you start feeling quite a bit of buffeting, sorry, as the wind is picked up quite strongly, and it's taking like a lot of adjustment just to keep yourself on a steady path down through and to the correct location. So I'll have one piloting check with advantage since you've done well up to this point now.
Yeah. Okay, that is going to be a +2. That's a 13.
13. Yeah, you managed to. There's a couple of points where an unexpected gust pushes you off course a bit, but you quickly respond to that and manage to sort of fight your way back onto where you need to be, and you come out into sort of like it's brown rocky terrain in the outskirts of the city. You can see like mountainous. And the city that you see is maybe kind of in like a small basin or valley, maybe to keep it out the wind, you're not sure. But most of the buildings themselves, although they might seem pretty tall, they're very, very wide for how tall they are. Sort of squat, but still large. And one of them is a very, very large square building with what you can see is some open shutters in the top, and some of them where you can imagine other shutters would be that are closed. And you imagine this to be the spaceport.
They want us to go into.
And as you get closer to it, there's another gust of wind that sort of pushes you off to the right, but you fight that back on track. And you see each of the doors above it has a number. And you do see number 27, which is in the lower right quadrant of that building.
Sure. Let's head in.
Yep.
Make way down, and as you go through the door, you have to like steady the ship suddenly because suddenly the wind cuts off.
Whoa.
Right, so you lurch forwards a little bit. And you're trying to like just sort of keep yourself on an even keel as you lower the altitude. And you drop the throttle on the horizontal thrusters. And you see the button for landing procedures, or the air console for landing procedures, and you see vertical thrusters down there that you quickly push on. And as you slowly go down, did you remember to put your gear out, your landing gear?
Shit, landing gear.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Right, landing gear. Yeah, I want the landing gear on.
That comes out slowly as you hover above the platform for half a second as they finally finish coming out, and then you slowly let down with a small hiss from the hydraulics, and you cut the engine power, and you are down on the planet of Doran.
Yay.
And everyone take a deep breath.
Deep sigh. Ooh, nothing like a good bit of space travel, is there?
Yep.
Next time I drive.
Considering all you did was panic.
Yeah, because I've never seen someone do that. Just leave me. Just leave
I'll have
me.
my whiskey back now, please.
You've been drinking and driving?
Yeah.
He thought he was going to die.
I thought I was going to die. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but if you drank that, we were probably going to die even more.
Would you like to drive?
Yes, because alcohol doesn't affect a robot.
I don't want to drive. That sounds like a lot of work.
No, I'm just looking at the casino box. Yeah, maybe never.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about him panicking, at least.
No, I thought about us dying.
I mean, judging by C-3PO, he panicked. Droids can panic.
Yeah,
Droids can very much panic.
Yeah.
All right.
Thinking episode 2 in the droid factory.
Yeah, before we leave, me and Una need rebreathers.
Yes, you do. You cannot breathe on this planet.
No.
So we cannot leave the ship currently.
Nope.
We cannot.
You
leave
can't
the ship.
even open the door without sealing an airlock for the cockpit, or at least somewhere in the ship, so you can keep the atmosphere in.
So, either we hope there are some on here, get crafted, and hope there are some spare oxygen tanks around.
Let's focus on trying to find it first, and then if we can't find any here, we send the 2 robots out.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you want me and RV to go out and get some?
If we can't find any on here, then yeah.
We'll see if the ship has any first. Then we'll send you.
Yeah.
But sending you out's going to be trouble for us too, because obviously we can't breathe out there. So we're hoping.
Have to put an airlock somewhere on board.
We'll have to send out the airlock.
I assume the ship would definitely have an airlock.
You can assume that each of the doors would act as a pressure hull.
Okay.
Maybe not for like a complete vacuum, but they're certainly airtight.
As long as the other 2 are in one room, So when we exit the ship in another room, then
we
it
will,
should be good.
we will run into another room, seal the door, and let you out.
Yeah, okay.
We'll let you out. You could figure out.
First
how
of
to
all, do you
close
want
the
to
door.
do a ship-wide sweep for some rebreathers?
please.
Yes.
Make
Yeah.
investigation checks, all of you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Hey, thank God. Right.
Yeah,
18.
18,
I get there's no point me
12.
12,
15.
15.
He's a bit better. 7.
Looking, so Una,
7.
Una, you decide that where would rebreathers be in a ship like this? Maybe somewhere near the door, so you can grab them on the way out.
That would make
That's
that
log-
makes sense.
That seems too smart of a logical thing
Right.
for me.
And
I feel like we're looking in the med bay.
there is no med bay that you
There would
can
also
see.
be another spot.
What
Well,
med
if
bay?
there was a med bay.
So you start looking around the living area and towards the ramp door to see if there's any sort of like cabinets or anything around there that you could find a rebreather in. And most of what you find is old data pads and magazines and stuff like that, and nothing really that would lead you to think there's anything near there. So what did you get, Super? S4?
12.
12. You think, okay, so where would you basically think inside your circuits, where would someone keep a rebreather? And you think, maybe in the crew quarters in case we lose pressure. Alright, so yeah, everyone can have one. And you start looking around each of those, and yeah, you don't really find much there either. S4 and Matt, you have the same idea. Engineering back. Right, repairs. Exterior repairs, you're going to need a rebreather.
Yeah.
Right. And so you start looking around in there. RV, you look around the main sort of like left-hand side of the engineering bay where the console was and sort of near the actual maintenance stations. And you do find a cabinet, right, which is marked O2. And opening that, you realise there should be rebreathers in here.
Nah, man.
No.
Right, but there aren't any. They didn't come as standard.
Mavic, even worse, when I opened up the O2 cabinet, all the O2 came out. Find any?
Avi, would you like to be activated?
And having seen this, Mavic, you think the last possible place, you open the door to the escape pod.
Yeah, you'd have them out there, surely.
Right. And the escape pod is basically a long tube with a thruster at the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. And inside that tube, there is a couple of straps for you to strap yourself in, and a small cabinet in front of you. And inside that cabinet, you find 2 days' rations, a single stim pack, and one rebreather.
Right.
Nice.
Okay, that's good news. Still down one. So I would still suggest we'll keep this one. See what the state of it is.
Yeah.
Because then I could have a look at it on the ship, and then send the bots out to get maybe 2 Bashy.
I think probably maybe a couple more than just 2.
You probably want
And then
3 at least,
and then get-
so
and
that
then
you
get
each have
another
another
one.
one, and then there's a spare in the escape pod.
It's a spare.
Okay, so just get 3.
While we're out, it might be worth you checking around on the outside of the ship because they probably suffered some
They
damage.
can't go outside the ship
No,
right now.
until
Well, in fact, there is the
until-
one rebreather.
Yeah.
Well, I want to have a look at the condition of it first. Stick it on my face.
Oh, absolutely.
And it just explodes.
Where is Una right now? She's in a
Una
room.
is in the living quarters, the front of the ship, sort of the actual like social area of the ship.
Okay,
I'm just roaming.
So,
by
Leave a paper bag going.
by the ramp, basically.
okay, so you're gonna try to get out the back.
I would suggest going out any other way than near the front.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so the back then.
in fairness, you can just ask Una to move.
Una, fuck off.
Hey, I'm trying. Okay.
It's a polite, unless you want to like asphyxiate, you might want to leave this area.
Yeah.
Fuck off, please.
Fine.
said in a more robot way than fuck off.
Yeah.
Okay, Una, we would like for you to return to go ahead to somewhere safe. We're about to depart the ship, and we don't want you to lose oxygen.
I will sure go to the other end of the ship.
Do you both go into the engineering bay?
Yes.
While they do that, I'm going to have the rebreather on the table and start examining.
Yeah. So, Una, when you leave the living area, you do press the button to shut the door, the hatch to the living space, and the light does go green, showing that there is a air seal, like it's airtight, basically. So you're not going to lose anything other than the air inside the main sort of like lounge living space.
Okay.
So that's the only area of the ship that's currently off limits to you. And yeah, after that, the two droids press the button on the ramp, and as it slowly lowers, there's not really a pressure difference. It does seem to be about the right amount of atmosphere. But you can imagine that there is sort of the mixing of gases as this happens, as you do open the ship. So this area of the freighter is no longer breathable for non-natives and droids.
Right.
Did you take any money with you?
Probably not. That's
Just
probably
take
important.
probably some of it, not all of it.
Yeah.
How much money do you have as a group collective?
Oh gosh, I have 1,500 now.
On my sheet, I still had 2,500. I don't know if that was before
That is
or after
probably
ship stuff.
before ship stuff. You still had to
Yeah.
pay another 10k towards the ship, I believe.
I think we all paid like 1,000.
Yeah. I've got 1850 for me, so yeah, I paid my bit.
Okay. At the very least, I will remove.
I will say
1,000.
each of you drop 1,000 for now, and I'll figure out. I'll go back through and figure out how much each of you should have.
Everyone?
Yes,
Cool, that's good by me.
because you basically struggled to afford the ship, so you shouldn't be having more than 1,000 credits right now.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
Makes sense.
Okay, now it's 850 for me.
I've got 501.
So like 1,000 should be like our max.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. You got it.
We've not got a lot of cash on us.
All right, but I'll go back through last stream, I think, and figure out, because you guys did say how much you had collectively, and I said how much the ship was left over, and I'll just basically take that number and divide it equally between all of you.
Yeah.
Right, so coming out of the front of the ship, you are confronted with three small droids with one center singular eye. They're rather weedy, but they've got sort of flat pan-like heads. And they speak in binary.
Which I imagine we also
Which
speak.
is droids you do speak.
All right, cool.
Gonna say, I'm glad it's these two. Though.
Absolutely.
All right, and you do see a little ways off in the distance a native Keldor slowly sort of making his way over towards you. But the droid starts out with saying, "Do you need any services while you're here?"
At the moment, we are just looking to procure resources for the crew here.
Okay. Standard parking is 25 credits a day.
Okay. and RV will pay that.
Okay. You just pay the single day for now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Minus 25.
Okay.
And you hold the credits out to the droid, but he backs away a moment and the Keldor comes over. And this time, because he's not wearing a mask, so he doesn't have the muffling, because this is his natural atmosphere. He comes over. Are you here to stay long?
No, we're just here to restock on supplies before heading back out.
How long would you like to pay for stay?
Just the 1 day for now.
Will be 25 credits.
And RV will pay him over.
He takes that and puts them in a small pouch on his side. Enjoy your stay here.
Thank you. Do you know where we could find rebreathers for the rest of the crew?
Yeah, shortly outside of the front of this main building, there is a large store where you can find rebreathers. Obviously, we're used to people not being able to breathe here. Yeah, just outside the front of the spaceport, and then across the street over to your right.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
And we're gonna head that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a little bit of difficult navigating your way out of here because there's a gantry that leads up out of the main sort of hangar pit. And then working your way through the actual like corridors to get to the front, well, to get to the exit. It takes you sort of like 5 minutes to work your way out. And yeah, as soon as you leave the building, you feel the wind buffeting you a little bit, as a lot of people here are wearing like heavy cloaks and things to shield themselves from the wind. But you don't have that. Yes, Nomi, I will hydrate and stretch. Thank you.
That applies to everybody.
You got it.
I'll be right back.
Oh, big stretch. Oh. I had both shoulders click.
I need to refill my water, I realised. I played myself, I needed to refill my water, and I didn't realise.
What?
In which case, once you guys have bought the rebreathers, should we do a quick BRB so everyone can...
Yeah, that's good. How much longer do you have for paperwork?
I got about 45 minutes.
45 minutes. I will try and get it so you guys are back in space by that point and we can leave it there.
So we're doing some light shopping, aren't we?
Yeah.
Go back out.
So yeah, you managed to get out of the spaceport, and you do see it's not in neon, but it is like very bold writing of I don't know, do they just generally speak Urabesh here? Do they have their own language? One moment. Yeah, primary language is Keldor, but there are sort of like, imagine like European signs where it is like the main language of the place, and then underneath it is in like Galactic Basic. There is a sign that says not general goods, but akin to that.
A bunch of touristy stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This planet T-shirt.
Yeah, basically.
Like,
yeah, you do
mugs as
see
well.
in the window there something that you would think could be a rebreather.
Excellent. Let's go up there and grab some.
Yep.
Buy some.
Walking in the store, it's quite heavily populated inside. There are a lot of off-worlders. And quite a few droids that you can imagine would be doing a similar thing to what you're doing. And then there's quite a few Keldor just shopping around inside, just milling about. And over to your right inside the store, there does appear to be a line of rebreathers with different face attachment parts. Like a lot of like the actual tanks and tubing seems the same, but the actual like shape of the mask itself seems to differ depending on obviously which race they're for.
Right. So ideally, we find some kind of like one size fits most kind of situation.
Hopefully.
You'll need to
I know
probably
the two
find
of
a
them have.
child-sized one for Bashi and Mavic.
Yeah. So if there's one, so we can get a couple of those anyway, because we know at least one of them is going to be able to use something with that more of the.
So you know that Una generally has a human-shaped facial structure, right? Sort of like nose, mouth area. So you can quite easily find a humanoid style mask that would fit Una. The rabbits might be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
But I will say just do a perception for me.
You got it.
Well, first as well.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Just. 14.
19. Okay. Yeah, after like a minute of looking, you're sort of scanning around, seeing, oh, it's not far off in shape, but that's way too big for them. And you sort of like look a little bit further down, and there are smaller sizes of a lot of the different facial shapes that you can imagine would be for children. And with a little bit of like, you've seen them recently, you remember what their faces look like, and you sort of imagine, quick moment, and this one might work. This one would work.
This should probably fit on their face without their lungs bursting. This should work fine.
It's not a pressure difference, it's just the fact that they will suffocate.
True.
Option A, option B.
Ketchup. Ketchup.
Oh dear.
Yeah. But yeah, so you think that you found 3 rebreathers that would be fitting for the motley crew you have.
Excellent. Yep, we'll pick those up and go check those out.
You do see the prices on there, that the smaller ones are 65 credits apiece. And the larger one for Una is slightly cheaper at 60.
Okay, let's break out the old. So you said, what was it, 265s and a 60?
Yep. 190 credits total.
You got it. I will deduct that. Whoop.
Don't want to add it on.
No, I think I was about to set it to 1900.
Ooh.
Oh,
Extra zeros will get you.
It's not that.
Yep.
Where'd you get the extra money from, Pat?
Okay, here's your tip. Wait, no.
Yeah.
Here's your tip. Grab someone else's wallet.
You take it out of their tip jar. It's like, here's your tip.
oh.
Here's your tip. Here's your tip. Gives them a bank vault. Where did you get that?
Yeah.
Don't ask questions. You don't know what to
Yeah, so.
do. Immediately causes trouble on the planet we just arrived
Yeah.
on.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, going over to the counter, there's a Keldor over there. You can't really tell if it's male or female. You haven't had too many experiences with this species. But they look at you, and is 3 rebreathers. That'll be 190 credits.
Excellent, thank you. And
Do you want to split that price like RV?
That's fine. We're mostly pulling our money together anyway for
All right.
as long as I don't get like really low that I can't buy stuff.
Yeah, unless you get shafted by saying, "Oh no, I got this one."
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'm sure me and Una will give them,
All right.
give them money back.
All right. Whatever the next thing is, RV, I'll buy it so you don't lose too much money.
Thanks.
F4 drinks round.
Yeah. Not just drinks
I
round.
have seen a lot.
Evening of drinks.
Evening of
Yeah. I have seen many drinkers, so be careful.
Drinks that him and Hunting Owl Games would drink.
All right, where are those 3 cans of copper still that many?
Anyone got some tenets?
Yeah.
Oh God, those.
Oh god. But yes, so yeah, down 190 credits and up 3 rebreathers. It's your choice of whether you want to have a look at anything else in here or go straight back to the ship.
I would Can I have a look around, see if there's anything else of interest here?
Yeah. Is there anything you're looking out for?
Well, we did. Yeah, supplies like food and drink and.
So
everyone.
you see in here, it's not really much of a grocery store or anything like that, or like somewhere you could find deep space rations. This is more like
Airport,
yeah, this is like your duty free.
I'll give you a sandwich. While you're at the food, give me a sandwich.
Right, there's lots of perfumes, like alcohol.
Oh hell yeah! I need to refill my whiskey.
Like sweet treats and things like that, but not much to actually.
Is there any sort of like the I Heart like city name equivalent?
You saw that.
Yeah.
So it's got,
We
like,
got,
t-shirt, mugs.
It's just like I love planet name.
So you did see a little bit further down when you came into this area, came out of the spaceport into this sort of area. There was a sort of looking like clothing store, but more so like heavy set garments and like hats to shield you from the wind, with very swirling patterns on them that you could imagine would be akin to the wind patterns of the planet.
Okay,
that's sort of like your most. It's a little bit more upper class than a "I love Beijing" t-shirt or "I love New York" or all that sort of shit.
I love Keldor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love Doran.
I love Tatooine. No.
How'd I get in here?
Yeah, no, Tatooine has the "I hate sand."
yeah.
I went to Tatooine and all I got was a stupid t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the kind of thing that Alex would do because he would literally buy a hat from any country. He's done that with Amsterdam and Paris, so he'll probably do that here.
Look, the goal. Have I not told you the goal? The goal is to get either penis or some other rude word in hat. Hang them on my shelf.
So, would you like to know what I had the chance to get whilst I was... I went to Beijing when I was like 12, 13.
Yeah.
And we had the... so, obviously, they've got all still like a lot of the touristy stuff because they're sort of quite close to the Great Wall of China and all of like the Bird's Nest Stadium because the Olympics had happened not too long before. And one of the things was that I love t-shirts, but it wasn't the full Beijing. It was I Heart BJ.
Oh no!
I wasn't cool enough at the time to get it.
Oh man, I
But
totally would have.
God knows if I went back, I would.
Oh, I totally would. That would be so funny.
I did get the t-shirt of I've been to the Great Wall of China, and all I got was this t-shirt.
Yeah, you've got to get one of those. You've got to.
It's currently sat in my wardrobe down there because it's too small for me now, but I refuse to throw it away.
Yeah, because you were young.
Exactly.
It might be a bit tight.
I mean, yeah. It's about the right size on Nomi.
Oh dear.
I was like 13. I was 5'2".
Guy, yeah, you launched up, didn't you?
During that trip, I launched up. I went and I was 5'2". I came back, I was 5'8".
I came back, I was 6 foot.
Yeah. But yes, so
What happened in China?
it's the food, man. It just I don't know what it is.
Just absolutely launched you up.
It's all the smog. But yeah, so yeah, you don't really find too much actual food or anything like that, but there are just general department stores basically.
Depending on how much those like a simple cloak and those hat things would be, that might be worth getting for the three of them.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Right. Can I check the prices of all those?
Yeah, so the hats, this is a little, it's duty free, but it's still kind of touristy prices.
Yeah.
The whole city's just in all airport shops.
Yeah. And yeah, so the cloaks, they seemed like quite heavy, thick material. You can't really tell what it is because you don't really have the touch receptors for it. But you can imagine that one of those cloaks, if you cut it in half, would do both the rabbits.
There you go.
And then another one for Una. And the hats, they seem pretty one size fits all. But the cloaks themselves, you see that they're about 30 to 40 credits, depending on obviously how intricate the patterning is. And the hats are 25.
I'm gonna pick up 2 of the cloaks, split the one up for the 2 little people, and then 3 hats.
That works, yeah.
These like the I love location hats.
They're not I love location hats. They're just like they have they're sort of like browns.
You really want one of those hats, don't you?
I'm not giving it to you. You're not having it. They are sort of very reminiscent of what the planet looked like from orbit. The like sort of the color palettes used: browns, yellows, oranges, sort of like that sort of coloring. And they've got embroidered swirls and sort of like wind-like patterning on them. But do you go for like the cheaper end of the cloaks, or yeah?
Yep.
30 credits a piece for those, and then 20 if you get any hats. They're 25.
So what is that?
Okay, so 60,
Basically 120.
60, 80. Yeah, 120.
3 of 20 and then 2 30s?
25 each.
25 each. Okay, so then 110.
75 plus 60 is 135.
Excellent.
See, that's how they get you these places. Right. Suddenly you just came out for some rebreathers and suddenly you're down 300 credits.
I imagine they've been a while when they come back.
Alright, after the break, because I'm going to say we're going to take the break now, we'll come back to what you two have been doing during the time that they've been away. But we'll go for a quick break, so grab yourself another drink, have a stretch, do what you need to do.
Sounds good.
Okay, we are back. Yeah, we're back to a different space thing. We got kind of on a Doctor Who rant.
Welcome, Doctor Who deep now.
No.
Yeah, we will return with what the bio people are doing, the biological ones, the non-mechanicals.
No, we're not really fleshy.
The fleshies.
The furry and
the flesh bags.
The meat bags.
Yeah, the meat bags.
You living creatures.
Yeah. Can't say that, that's a slur.
Yeah.
The oxygens.
The oxygen breathers.
Which is another good episode. Sorry, let's get back on track.
No. This is for Star Wars, not Doctor Who. You guys, the droids have just left.
Yeah.
And yeah, you've got the ship to yourselves for the moment. You've got a single rebreather between you, and maybe a little bit of a stressed ship.
I want to check out that rebreather.
Yeah.
What condition it's in.
Yep. You can use your tech skill for that one.
Tech skill. Okay.
That'll be whatever technical things you have, like you have like you have any like tools for that? Because I remember you having like a kit of some kind.
I have a repair kit.
That will be good for diagnosing if anything's wrong with it. I'll say that. So you can use that.
Can I could use some of my tech casting.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what for like mending or whatever. So I just want to have a look, just a general sort of investigation.
I will say with your repair kit, you can use your intelligence modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
A plus and intelligence.
Yep. Sorry, I was just muting because Nomi was having a sneezing fit. It was coming through on my mic.
The hay fever tablets are wearing off, and I can't take more yet.
That's 13.
13. Okay. You give it a once over quickly, and you see that the tubing on it is old.
Nomi, can you stop sneezing? So rude.
I can't help it, my allergies going through the fucking roof.
Can I turn the mic back on now?
Yes.
So, yeah, the tubing for the actual sort of like reservoir into the mask seems a little bit old and worn, but it doesn't seem to have any leaks in it at the moment. But you reckon that could be a problem in the near future. The actual mask itself, you fit it over your face for a moment just to see how the fit is. And you feel you'd need to possibly add a couple of straps in order to get an effective seal off of it.
So the tubing's just a bit old. Could do with some new tubes.
Yeah.
And then it's perfectly fine, but just something
to keep it like properly affixed on would be good.
On your face.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have a look, see if there's anything me?
Yeah.
Tubing,
you look through the maintenance areas to sort of find any extra tubing or anything. You don't find like actually anything that would be airtight tubing that you could use. But you do see some like an old sort of rubber like / silicon belt, maybe off of some sort of pulley gear or something like that you could fashion into a strap.
Okay, I'll try and take that off there. Fashion more straps.
Same repair roll.
20.
Sorry, you not picked up on 24. The mic there. 24, yeah. Very, 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 like... Sorry, pardon me. Very deftly, you measure out how much of this you think you're going to need in order to create a strap for your face, and maybe with a bit of an adjustment. It is kind of like stretchy, so you could maybe get someone who's a little bit bigger than you into the mask. And then you fasten that on by looping it through a couple of like small metal rings that are on the mask that you quite happily tie on, and you reckon put it over. You try and breathe without the tubing or anything going, and you can't really breathe in at all, so you think that's a pretty good seal.
Okay. Is it like a thing I have to turn on?
There is a small so on obviously one end of the tube you've got the actual mask, and then on the other side is a small box that would seem like a reservoir, and there is a small panel on there that you can play about with to turn it on and off.
To see how good how good it is actually with it fully on.
Yeah.
Just because I am curious about going outside now.
So you don't put the straps on for this, but you do press it over your face with the same amount of pressure. And then you turn it on and take a deep breath in. It's stale. Like this has not been used in a while.
You okay over there?
Turning it off.
It's not like a bad smell or anything. It's just like it catches the back of your throat a bit as it goes down.
Yeah. Dries your throat up.
Yeah. And it's got like sort of that metal tang to the air. But yeah, you reckon it's breathable. And it fits nice enough.
I reckon it will do for going outside and just having a look at the ship.
Yeah.
See if there's any repairs. I just have to tolerate this sort of staleness.
Breathing into an old boot.
Yeah. A slightly older boot.
Yeah.
An old boot nonetheless. I will tell. I'm gonna say Shuka. Una.
Yoga?
I don't know.
Too much Doctor Who.
I will tell Una. I will tell Una that I'm heading out. I'm gonna check for any external damages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, installing the mask and then waiting that little bit for the air scrubbers to kick in the living area to make that place breathable again. You open the door, take a preliminary sniff just to see if it smells like the rest of the ship. Doesn't seem to be any problem. It seems that place has now been replenished with the correct atmosphere after the hatch was closed. And yeah, doing the same procedure. You push the button on the hatch to slide that down, and then open the front boarding ramp after you've done the mask properly, of course, and turned it on.
Yeah.
And
strap it on.
And down the ramp you go. The ground is hard. It's metal down here. You can tell that this entire building is basically half recessed into the ground, and they've built most of it underground to keep out of the wind. And there are lots of scorch marks underneath where your ship is on the floor, where you can tell a lot of thrusters have been blasted onto this surface.
I see. The floor's seen its fair share of wear and tear.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me have a look at the ship itself.
So at the front of the ship, there doesn't seem to be too much that you see that was out in the orderly from the last time you looked at it. Moving around the right-hand side and towards the engine area of the exterior, it's still sort of popping and creaking a little bit as it cools. And you see around the edges of the actual nozzles of the thrusters slightly blackened.
Interesting. So a bit of a clean-up, nothing major.
Alright, and now I'm going to roll.
Oh dear. Don't like when he says that.
You really don't. Right.
You hear a DM say, I'm going to roll something, it's never a good sign.
And as you make your way around to the right-hand side engine, you hear a slight pop, and then a small hissing noise.
Okay, that's not good.
Right. Taking a couple of steps backwards because you couldn't see it on the underneath. You see sort of like halfway between sort of vertical and horizontal, about there on the ship's engine body. A piece of tubing has ruptured, metal tubing, and there is some form of hissing steam coming out of it. You don't know whether it's RCS or like anything like that, but there is certainly something coming out of the ship.
Can I get a bit closer to see what it is?
You'd probably have to climb.
Okay.
Because that is probably around about 30 feet off of the ground.
Okay, then I will wait till Ovi gets back and climb on his shoulders. I think that's probably going to be the... should we just... the whole ship's off?
So lights, life support, and comms are still on.
Yeah, okay. So nothing... It won't be... Hopefully it's not fuel coming.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
That would be bad. All right, I'm gonna. I might ask around see if there's a thing actually. Cause
you're really
urgent.
cutting off there, Matt. You might need to drop your noise gate a touch.
Hello.
Yes, that's a bit better.
Noise suppression was suppressing me.
Help, I'm being suppressed.
Help. Yeah, I'm gonna look around and maybe ask for a ladder and just have a closer look. If we have to do stuff again, that's a problem.
You walk over to, there's three droids, the same sort of pan-shaped head, singular optical eye, rather thin, sort of small bodies. They're not too much taller than you. And you walk up to one of them and ask, have you got a ladder or something I can climb to get up to the top? and they speak back at you in binary.
Didn't bring my brand translator with me. Which is just called RV.
RV is my translation.
RV is my translation.
Yeah.
Do I see if they speak any Galactic Common at all?
From what you can tell, they're not speaking Galactic Common to you.
Okay. Right. Not helpful. I try and just look around for a ladder myself then. I just see if I can pinch one.
Seeing this from a little bit ways off, a Keldor, the same one that RV paid for the ship's berth, walks over to you and is like, "Hello, what appears to be the problem? Yeah, I see you've got some leaking going on."
Yeah, I'd like to have if you've got a ladder, I want to have a quick look at it and see if it's what's leaking out of it. It looks concerning.
He writes something down on a datapad quickly and shows it to the droids, and they nod to each other and run off.
Okay.
I'll be back in a moment. I'm pretty sure we've got something to help.
Yeah, I just don't want to go off again and that'll be an issue. It's not something I want particularly.
About a minute passes by, and the three of them return, one at the front of the ladder, one at the rear of the ladder, and one in the middle, sort of almost dangling his legs.
Flintstones, have they?
Do you know what the droids I'm talking about? Because I'm pretty sure you've seen these droids.
I might have seen
we're gonna lose cameras for a moment, I'm afraid.
Okay, cool. We're getting an image. Doobity-doo. We're getting an image. Doobity-doo. We're getting an image. Doobity-doo.
It is. They are called pit droids, apparently.
Right.
That. There we go. It is in Moss Ice.
Oh yes, these guys from
Those
Mando.
guys. Not just Mando, but also Star Wars Episode 1. They were part of the pod race.
Yes.
One of them got absolutely fried by a pod racer engine.
Oh, poor little thing.
But it's basically those three: Tweedledee, Tweedledum, and Tweedledummer.
Tweedledimmer.
Yeah.
Like.
And they walk over to you, and they basically drop the ladder, and it drops on one of their foots.
I was expecting that. I love that.
Right. And they just stand there looking expectantly.
I take the ladder and I pat each one of them on the head. Wow, slightly reaching up.
They run off.
Thank you. They can't understand.
Like, they understand you mostly.
Okay.
They understand the words. They don't necessarily understand the meaning.
Okay. Cool. I take the ladder and I start heading over. Try and prop it up near where the so-called leaky pipe is, and have a look at it. See where it's coming from.
Yeah. You scale the ladder easily enough. And as you're getting up towards the engine cowlings themselves, you realise these are still quite hot. They haven't quite cooled down yet from being overloaded.
Why did it stick in? I touched it twice. Was it hot the first? Okay. Then that might be a future problem. Waiting for it to cool down kind of problem. Cool. Then I will get down and take the ladder with me, put it inside, wait till the guys get back, and then maybe send one of them out there to maybe like RV to have a look at it.
Yeah.
Because then at least I don't have to worry about burning myself.
Mm-hmm.
At least he can just, it won't be too hot for him to handle.
Hmm.
And he might be able to bend it.
Okay. Nomi, is there
Shit.
anything that you're doing?
Not
So
put back on.
what I was wanting to be doing is sort of like checking for like any minor cosmetic damages, sort of like trying to like just generally tidy up, make it look a bit more like comfortable.
Okay.
Like I'm doing cleaning, organizing, maybe doing a couple more like little doodle graffiti things on the wall to make it look a bit more lived in.
Okay. So the first thing you notice, because you are in the engineering compartment, is there is a console with a small view screen that is quite violently flashing.
Okay.
Go over to it.
Yes.
And you read that on the top that this is the damage control screen.
You cut out there slightly.
This is the damage control screen.
Okay.
And you can see on it that on the starboard engine, there is a small red blinking area, and labeled on it coming off from it is engine cooling pipes.
Okay.
All right, and that is what is blinking red.
Right. Is it like just like a thing, like it's like an interactive screen, so I can sort of click on it and be like, okay, what exactly is wrong
There's
with
some
this?
small dials and controls underneath the screen.
I want to sort of play with that to then be like, okay, what exactly is going on with these, so I can then sort of have an idea before I go and have a look.
Okay, so you turn one of the dials and it zooms in on said area.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see a little bit more detail now. The blinking red area has stayed the same size, but the actual image has enlarged. And you see that it's a small pipe running on the right-hand side engine, sort of a little bit to the right of the top of it. And it appears to be blinking red, saying coolant pipe failure.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna go investigate that properly, and I'm going to assume I have an idea how to deal with that.
You know that you would need to go outside of the ship to do that, and then you do not have a rebreather.
I don't. At this point, Alex has already, Mabik's already gone out, hasn't
He has just left.
he? I can't contact him either because we don't have a comms link for individually.
Does the ship have like an outside speaker? I feel like we okay.
There is an exterior speaker on the ship.
Okay, I'll go to that and say to Mavik, Mavik, there's something you need. Are you fixing things outside?
You hear that just as you get to the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah, she can't. Now she tells me.
So, okay, I'm hoping you are doing that, but if you're not, go have a look at the external pipes. There is a cooling issue with them.
Looks
And
back at the
then-
leaking pipe. Thank you for your information.
I noticed that.
The climbing, the hot metal, climbs back
Bless
down.
you. It's like,
And then
I
over the
can't see, I
PA
don't know
comes,
what's happening.
"Hey Mabik, there's an issue with the cooling."
He's like, I can't see it. I don't know.
Next item.
So, and then after doing that,
to each other.
Mm.
New item on the menu. I'll go back to you.
Okay, so you go back inside. Do me a quick intelligence check.
Yeah. Intelligence +2. Yeah. No, that is 6.
It wasn't a hard DC.
Okay.
Right, the DC was 5.
Okay, good. One of
Yeah. You do remember that the interior of the living bay is still open to the air, so you wait a little bit for the scrubbers to reoxygenate the air before undoing your mask and pressing the button to the rest of open to the rest of the ship.
Yeah.
And then you make your way back to the engineering bay at the rear.
Do I know where Una?
Una,
do I know where Una would be?
you walk into the engineering bay and Una is there.
Hi.
Did you get my message?
Yeah.
Oh.
After I'd got the ladder, looked at it, got up to
Oh.
the base of the ladder, then you told me there's an end of the problem.
No. So
No.
in fairness, you'd got on the ladder, gone
Yep.
up the ladder,
Yep.
burnt your hand,
Burnt
came
my
back
hand.
down, and then Una commed.
Yep. As I'm getting some bandage out to wrap my hand. Yeah, thank you for that information. After I'd received it.
Well, how was I supposed to know? Other than that, do you like what I've done with the place?
Paper's just slowly receding.
Slowly receding, like
fighting.
maybe if they won't see me, maybe they won't see me go.
Yeah, no, you're fine. If you need to go, you go.
Cool. Yeah, all right, buddy. See you later.
All right, we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye.
He's already gone.
Yeah.
Yep. Time zones, man.
Yeah. Be a bitch.
They be a bitch.
Hopefully, luckily, next session the clocks will have changed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have an extra hour.
More Star Wars.
No.
Yes. But yes.
No, we won't have.
No, because they'll go forward. So in actuality, that we'll have an extra hour of paper being here.
Yeah, we'll have more time with paperwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, because their daylight savings already started.
Yeah, they have their daylight savings earlier than we do.
Yeah.
Like half a month earlier than we do.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, I will say you sort of you yourself have a look at the damage control screen. And with a quick intelligence check, you might be able to figure out if there's anything you can do about it with without any parts.
I don't know why I could I'm guessing I couldn't just after it cooled, pin it back up and sort of weld it back in place.
Intelligence check.
Waiting to cool being the prime operative here.
If it cools, because it's leaking coolant.
Yeah, if it cools at all, and it's not going to be great. That is an 8.
You feel that you might need to get at least not a new pipe, but at least a shroud to strengthen that area of the pipe in order to be able to do it if it cools.
Well, I'm hoping that if RV comes along, he can just sort of hold it in place, because he's going to have a bit more resistance against the heat than I am. So it's leaking coolant, which is not good for the engine. Like so. Thank you for demonstrating. Yeah, I could get him to pin it and then we sort of weld it back on. As even if it's just temporary until we can get it properly.
A stopgap.
Yeah. Just so it's not leaking out.
What you do what now? What you do whilst waiting for them to come back is you look through the maintenance area to see if there's anything that could help with this, such as an arc welder or any parts that might be useful for making a shroud around it to strengthen that area. And if you want to do an investigation check.
Can I just say, something while this is happening?
Yes.
Can I be sort of slowly piling and putting more blankets and pillows on and around Bashi as he's completely conked out asleep, apparently?
If you want to, yeah, go ahead. Please make a sleight of hand. I'll roll his disadvantaged perception now. Investigation check, please, Alex.
Yeah.
Let's try that again. That was cocked.
Hey,
don't think it
22.
matters.
22.
Do I have...
I'm at 20.
Nice.
15.
Well, I actually rolled a 1, so
I'm
Is
just
Una adding more
making-
stuff to the pile?
Una is adding more blankets.
I'm adding. No, I'm sort of removing the things I piled on him to then kind of put more blankets around him and then putting it back on
um,
and like
Mavic,
covering his ears so he doesn't get
you
disturbed.
remember that when you did this, you put quite a few tools on him from the engineering bay.
I did. Aha!
Really just been like, take what you need.
Wait, Una, stop. And I go, can you
It's
see
in
there's
my
a welder
hands.
on there?
It's in the pile of shit you put on it is currently in my hands. Take what you need before I put it back on him.
Put it on the table. I want to have a look for it.
I'm just kind of. I'm gonna sit on the floor so you can just rummage through.
Rummage through a pile of tools. Just need to know if there's a welder in here.
Yep. You see that there's 2 laser grinders.
Yeah.
Quite a few spanners and various like torque wrenches and things like that. And there does appear to be the like head and nozzle of an arc welder.
Okay. I'll take the head and nozzle of the arc welder. And there's nothing actually attaching it. I just need to
So
find the actual
you would
welding.
need some sort of power source in order to put to power it.
Okay. Is there any in this pile, or do I have to?
Not in the pile. You might have to look through more of the engineering maintenance area.
Okay, I'll look for more of the maintenance, see if I can find a power source for the welder, and I can put more together.
Yep. Looking through it, there's quite a few more tools in here, more spanners, and like the occasional hammer. There's actually quite a lot of metal tubing here as well that you may be able to replace the entire thing, but that might take a while. Or if you cut a little bit down, you might be able to make a shroud to go around the broken area to create more surface in order for that patch to stick.
Yeah, you're gonna need something to attach it with.
And there is what you appears to be some sort of power pack or certainly something that would power something like an arc welder.
Cool. Can I see if I can sort of attach these together?
Yep, there's a wire that goes down with a small port on it into the power cell, and pressing the trigger on the arc welder does light it.
I've done that.
Right, it is very bright, and you almost blind yourself doing so because you don't have the you don't have your glasses on right now.
Oh, there are glasses around.
I remember on your character design you have goggles.
I do. Oh. They're on my head.
Yeah.
There they are. I've done the. Hey, have
you seen my phone?
Have you seen my goggles anywhere?
You're calling someone. I can't remember where I put my phone.
Yeah, hi. What? Have you seen my phone? I've done that.
Why do you not have a find my phone at feature?
Yeah.
I do on my watch now, but then it's more embarrassing when it goes off in my pocket. Like,
I mean, the worst thing about your phone is when you had your old iPhone and it would flashbang all of us every time you got a message.
Yep.
Oh God, yeah.
The flashbang every time. Yeah, horrible.
Yeah, so you reckon the correct equipment you need to make a patch to the cooling system, but it's still probably going to be very hot up.
Yeah, I'll have to wait till RV gets back and sort of go out with him and hopefully with the Uri Breathers, with the slightly newer ones. You know, we can get a couple more people maybe to hold it in place,
and
just when it's resealed.
After maybe another 10 minutes, there's a loud sort of metallic clang at the front of the ship.
Oh, is that them?
There were sort of 3 of them. They were relatively evenly spaced apart.
Oh, might be someone knocking at the door. All right. I tell him not to leave, and I'll put the back on.
Mhm.
See if I can open the door.
You push the button on for the boarding ramp, and in front of the ramp when it hits the ground is S4 and RV. Arms
Heyo.
filled with rebreathers and blankets. From what you can tell, the blankets.
Well,
You've been
All right.
shopping.
yes, we've got rebreathers, we've got blankets, we've got hats, we've got cloaks.
Sweet. Wait, I'm
You're not here.
You're not here. You died. Right, come in.
I found something.
Okay. People put everything on the table. It's like open the bag and then just
Yeah, it's basically all wrapped up inside one of the cloaks.
Yeah,
yeah,
okay. I'll close
just
the door.
open up the cloak.
And wait for
Wait for the door to close, and then I'll just put the cloak down. Open the cloak on the table.
And then we can let Una in.
After like a minute or two, the atmosphere you think the atmosphere's probably done its job by now. The scrubbers have gone through it and replenished the oxygen. And you open up the door to Una, who is standing excitedly in front of it, waiting for their rebreather.
She was just waiting there.
What'd you get?
How long have you been standing there?
Calm down.
Okay, so Una turned into an excited dog when they come back home. What'd you get?
I've never spoken the same word so quickly in my life without stumbling.
Okay, so we managed to get. So we got rebreathers, we got towels, we got hats, we've got the cloaks.
I'm sorry.
The hats.
Did you pillage a small village?
Did you have to rhyme?
No, I did not. No, I did not pillage a small village, and then looked behind you like. Shh. No, that doesn't happen. Okay. Okay, so I see that the hats and cloaks protect you from the wind outside.
Okay.
So don't worry, we got sizes for your species.
You see that there are only 2 cloaks.
2.
Yeah. So 2. Oh yeah, just 1 second. Do I try and just rip it in half?
You can try. It's up to you if you want to find an implement in order to cut it finally.
Would it be strength then?
It's strength to rip it apart. If you want to do it a little bit more refined, you would probably want like a quick investigation to find maybe a blade or something that could cut it.
Yeah,
I'll roll investigation. That's better for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a 10.
10 is fine. It's average. You notice poking out of Una's boot is a vibro dagger.
Una, that dagger you have, mind if I have that? Or are you able to cut this cloak in half?
Being talked at.
There was too much going on. What was that?
Right, it's cutting cape in half.
So I could
Would you like?
I could out Nomi right now and turn off my blur and show you what they're watching because they're just watching our video.
There was literally no talking. No,
Nomi, stop watching videos.
No, there's only music going to this, so there's no words. So I am still paying attention to what's being said.
Yeah,
so I'm literally just having music going. My brain just short-circuited because of my way.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm paying attention.
So let me explain.
People talking at you.
So let me explain slowly. So S4 was pointing at the knife in your boot and said, like, "Can I use that to cut in half the cloak, or are you able to do it yourself?"
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna go. Oh yeah, sure. Kick the knife towards you out of my boot.
No, it's in the top of your boot by your calf.
Oh, I thought it was like in the bottom of it.
No.
Yeah, I just was taken out of bastardom then.
Goes to show. Are you sure you've been listening? This goes to show for someone like me who doesn't listen most of the time. But
I am fucking tired.
Right, we're not going to be too long.
I need to sleep, and my allergies are driving me insane.
All right. I'll let you off the hook for once.
So,
thank you.
Who would like to do the cutting?
Not me. That's why I'm handing the knife to whoever's doing it.
All right, I'll try and cut it open then.
Okay.
I'm not getting involved at your end.
I will say, make an attack roll using your dexterity and proficiency bonus. Just so that this isn't necessarily doing damage. It's just seeing how well you cut it.
where is my proficient bonus?
It will be
Somehow-
+3 at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so plus that, plus my dex as well, yeah?
Mhm.
So that's +6. Okay.
Nice.
Mm.
Okay, that's 17.
17, perfectly good. You realize that these cloaks don't have well, they have a hood, but the hood seems to be detachable. So you take the hood off before cutting it. One of them's just going to not have a hood. And being very, very careful, you get Mavic to do his best to kind of hold it out taut. Alright. And then you slowly draw down the center of the cloak, making it pretty damn even. You're pretty like, if you found like a half-size cloak like that in a store, you'd buy that.
Okay, so Mavic, would you like to be the hood one or the hoodless one?
Give me the hood.
The hood one, okay.
I can then cosplay as Bashi.
Okay, yeah, I'll give him the hooded one. And
You're
the
your
hoodless
cloak.
one too.
So that cloak is sort of like a dusty brown color.
Mhm.
And the full-sized one for Una is more like got more of an orange tint to it, but it's still like that browny orange.
I'm happy with that.
You say you bought t-shirts and hats or what?
Yeah, so these hats and these cloaks, they're designed to protect you from the wind, just in case it gets a bit really windy out there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks
So
where Bashi is. Looks at the hat.
It's a one-size-fits-all, but that size probably won't fit you.
Put on Bashi head.
You're gonna smoke him.
Hey, he can breathe.
he's gonna wake up.
Make a sleight of hand check
like a
for me.
lot of stuff. Oh god.
Ooh, more stuff to pile on Bashi.
You're gonna have to explain everything to him if he
yeah.
does show the next session.
No, I'll just say, oh no, it all fell on you. Sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Yes. +3. 15.
That's enough. That'll do. He does not wake up.
Hat.
He's so confused when he wakes up.
He'll be fine.
But yeah. You've divvied up the clothing and the rebreathers. You put the new rebreather on.
Yep.
Right. And it's a pretty good fit, actually. You don't even think you need a strap with this one.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Oh.
And the tubing
Better
seems to be
than
in good condition. There doesn't seem to be any cracks forming in it.
Good.
It just seems nice. New car smell is what you get from the air inside.
Oh. Yeah, they're like, I'm happy. Cool. Let's put these in the O2 box so we know where they are.
Well, you have something you need to do outside the ship.
I do, but I need to hop on RV's back.
Yes.
Before we can. Right. Una obviously knew what it was. The only problem is it's hot. So I guess I get on RV's back, and I need someone, ideally, to pin it into place.
If only we had someone who could use the force. That would be helpful
Yeah.
right now.
Or, a clothes hanger.
Bashi's ear just pricks at that moment, but he doesn't wake up.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Okay, remind me to tape his hands down too.
Can I rummage around, like, in like some drawers, like in the end near the engine, stuff like that, see if there's something that could be helpful?
You certainly can try. Please make an investigation check.
Where's my +3?
Was it a natural one?
Oh no, and that one.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, then
I
You've,
walk into something, like, open a drawer on my fucking face.
So what happens is you get into the engineering bay, right, and you look in some of the overhead lockers above the console, right, and as you open one, it's like one of those airline like hand luggage bins that you put all your stuff in at the top when you get on the airplane, right, and what happens is everything that was in there was basically booby trapped to just come out at you. And you're just like beset by random tools, the occasional like works manual, and
my works manual.
Yeah. And yeah, you just like immediately hands up. Oh, what the, who packed this?
No, I like to imagine I'm just swamped. Like I just collapsed to the
Can
floor.
we have an animation of Una just opening that and then an entire ship's worth of cargo falling down on them and just burying them?
The only thing I want to go is I go over and go, oh, the manual, that'd be handy.
Looking over there, Alex, Mavic.
Just raises their hand at the top of the pile. Got the manual!
Dare I ask?
Sorry?
While they're screaming, we found the manual! Dare I ask, did I take damage from that?
I will say you took a D4 of damage when a spanner bounced off your head.
Yeah, grab between
I'll roll it.
Just raise it on the pile. All good.
3 points of damage. Spanner to the cranium. We'll do that.
I am ouchie.
I'm
looking very bruised now.
There's like you imagine there's going to be a big bump around about here in like the next day's time.
There's going to be a big old welt.
Gosh, from Bashy's not here. We're just a cartoon, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Where's the
This is like what I imagine the Star Wars version of Star Trek: The Lower Decks is.
Yeah.
Just our flopping. Meanwhile, like actual like space diplomacy is happening over here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Senate is in session and they're talking about like the new sentencing directives for the Empire and how they're going to be stamping out rebellion. And here's you guys getting spanners bounced off your head and burning your hands on engine cowlings.
And petting little droids.
Yeah, and petting pit droids.
We are the cartoon. We are the children's cartoon version of Star Wars.
Yep.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So, what you do notice, Alex, is lodged on one of Una's sort of like tentacle things on going from the back of their head appears to be a rather thick glove.
Thick what? Sorry, you cut out the last minute.
Glove.
Ooh. Hell yeah.
You imagine that probably it's a bit big on you, but you imagine it's probably quite heat proof.
Is there anything I can test it out?
Only one you can think of.
Lightsaber?
Not that hot.
You wanted to
Oh
do
no! Just because we cut one guy's hand off doesn't mean I want my hand to come off too.
Can I just go, I'm gonna have a nap and collapse.
You sort of stumble a little bit with like holding your head. And he's like, I'm just gonna sit down. And you kind of flump into the chair. And you kind of out cold a little bit.
Yeah. Hand over the eyes, just
Right. I'm gonna have to look after them, aren't I now?
You feel that they may have gotten a concussion.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look after them now.
But yeah, you do reckon that this glove could serve as something of a heat shield for doing maintenance work on hot things.
What sort of time is it now? Are we heading in?
So you got here and it was quite bright, but the doors above you closed, and just like the general lighting inside the hangar bay, so you don't really know what time it is.
Okay. I don't know if it's coming. I'm only worried if we're here too much longer, we'll have to pay for another day.
It's a day from when you land, so it has not been a day yet. You've been here maybe half an hour, an hour.
Cool. And something's all in an hour. Holy God, we are the cartoon bunch. All right, okay. I deal with your concussion.
Is there literally one D&D campaign we've done where we don't act like cartoon characters?
No.
Come back to me in an hour and we'll discuss this.
I try not to play cartoon characters. I do my best.
Just ends up happening that me and Nomi end up being the cartoonist of the bunch.
I am the chaos gremlin. It's to be expected.
You've got a choice of whether you want to try and fix the cooling issue with that, or basically try and guide RV through the process.
I'm gonna try and guide RV through the process.
Yeah.
Just because I'm worried that if it all goes wrong, that's a pilot out of action.
Fair enough. You lead RV outside through the same sort of airlock procedure of making sure that you're both in the living area and then closing the door, then opening the boarding ramp. You get up the ladder on top of RV's shoulders, and the hissing seems to have lost steam a little bit. But you can tell just from a cursory glance of the shimmering air above the engine cowling itself that the engine has not cooled down at all.
Oh, yeah, so it's still red hot then. Or at least hot enough.
Hot enough that you would burn without any sort of protective gear.
Yeah, okay. Right, I'd try and guide RV to sort of pin it back to where it's come from, and hand him the welding tool to try and weld around it.
Yep. I'm going to have to grab up RV's character sheet quickly so that I can see what he rolls with his various stats. So we'll lose cameras for another moment. Here we go. Here's RV's sheet. General stuff like this. Okay, he rolls flat. Flat rolls is easy. I like that.
Cool.
Okay. So I will need a wisdom-based check for you, probably just straight wisdom, as to how well you describe what you need him to do.
Oh gosh. And it's a flat roll from me.
It's not the highest DC in the world. It's a proper attribute skill check rather than just a.
Brother. You were a 19.
Nice.
Fuck. I hate you.
Natural 1.
I rolled from a 19 and it
teetered over to a 1. That's so rude.
Dice jail.
You basically start pointing where you want him to do stuff, and RV is a little bit overwhelmed by all of the information he has to process in this moment. And he says, wait. Just slow down. Run that by me again.
I've been through this so many times.
And I'll let you roll once more.
Look, what we do is okay, good. I thought it was a 6 then. That's a 9.
Okay, a 9 is okay. Alright, this is more on what RV does with the information you give him now. But you sort of point to, okay, so this is the pipe that's a problem. You see the steam coming out of it. We need to put that back onto this port entry on the actual engine cowling. You can see that they do match up. Are you going with the shroud around it to try and keep it better, more structurally sound? Or you're just trying to weld, and then you need to fit
a bit more structurally.
This over the front before you do so. Make sure it's over the gap and weld that in place. And he said, okay. Just sort of speaks to himself quite I got this. I have.
What are you doing?
I am now rolling for RV to see if he can fix the fucking engine.
No, RV just whispering to himself. What are you doing?
RV's just whispering, I got this. I got this.
I know you got this.
I am enough.
Could you hurry it up?
It's not bad.
Oh,
Right.
that's all I need.
It's an 11. Right. It's not terrible. It's a little bit above average.
We just need it attached.
Right.
Really.
He managed to slide on the shroud easy enough. It takes like a second jamming it, like sort of properly getting it sat properly in the port it needs to go in. All the while you can see that the engine, while not getting cooler, doesn't necessarily seem to be getting hotter, but RV is getting hotter.
Okay, we need to. Is that attached?
RV has now put it into place. It's not yet welded.
Okay, I will try and weld it for him, and then I need to get RV off because I'm on RV. I will burn.
Yes, but RV will also take damage from burning due to his circuits overheating.
Yes,
and possibly that.
Right, can I roll to mending? Can I use my mending
roll
skill?
me. Yeah, mending. That's fair.
Because that's basically what I'm doing here. I can add my tech power then. So +5. Am I adding anything else to this, or I just my tech?
Should just be +5.
Ah, what a day to get it! 19.
Hell yes. Very, very carefully, with like a proper ridge weld, you managed to go all the way around both sides of the shroud patch that you put on, right? And very, very carefully, but swiftly as well. It doesn't even take you like longer than 2 minutes to get around it, right? And after the metal actually cools down enough, there's no more leakage. You don't see any steam coming out of the pipe where it once was. It seems to be properly sealed. But you'd have to check inside to see if the engine temps are actually coming down.
Yeah, okay. And I want him back inside anyway. He's getting hotter.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
He was when he was touching the metal and everything, but he's slowly cooling down now. I will see if it was long enough for him to take any damage. It was not.
Thank God. Right, okay, let's get back inside. And
yep, you make your way around. Remove the ladder because you don't think you need it anymore. Maneuver around to the front of the ship, up the boarding ramp, do this whole airlock procedure, wait for the scrubbers to kick in, and then open up to the rest of the ship.
Yep. Okay, let's head to where the engine was and see if we can get this. See what it's screaming at me, basically.
Yep. You go back over to the damage control panel on the left-hand side of the L-shaped console. There seems to be no red flashing light anymore, which is good. And you look over the actual like proper damage control screen, and the warning marker that said that the cooling pipe was ruptured, cooling pipe failed, is now cleared. Doesn't seem to be doing that.
Good.
And then you go back over to the engine temperature screen with little LEDs. And while the port engine seems to have come back down to well in the green, the starboard side engine does appear to still be in orange.
Right. Is that because it's low on coolant, or is it?
You assume it might be the case.
Right, then we need to go get some coolant then to try and refill it. We can fill it. It has to be filled from the outside.
It will be filled from the outside, but it's easily accessible on the lower end.
Cool. Right, then I need to go out and go shopping again. Coolant, engine coolant.
Roll me a.
Or at least someone's a box.
Yeah, just roll me a quick intelligence check.
19.
You feel like being a spaceport, they might have some coolant on hand.
Cool. Can I send one of the Can I send like S4 out again? Like, just because obviously I'm worried about RV where he was hot. I go S4. Buddy, hello.
Hello.
I didn't realize one of the manuals hit you on the way out too. Can you?
You need to take a look at his circuits when you get back. He's seeming a little bit slow these days.
I think I need to look at all their circuits.
No, I'm perfectly.
Okay, we're wiring him entirely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right. Whacks on the head. That'll do. Right, outside. I need engine coolant. Can you go get me some engine coolant, please?
Of course, yeah.
Thank you.
You do have the same thought, Super, that being a spaceport, they probably have some coolant on hand that might
work. Should I roll investigation to find some? Or?
Talking to someone might be a decent way.
Yeah, remember you still got the guys there.
There's the dock handler as well as the pit droids as well. Obviously, you can talk to the pit droids. So
yeah, I can. I'll talk to the pit droids. Do you have any coolers that I can use?
Coolers? What do you need to keep cold?
Our engine.
Our ship. Coolant.
Coolants.
He's thinking you need a fridge.
Well, we do need food as well, so
we'll probably skip past the grabbing food stuff. I'll just sort of like, how much food do you want? It'll be a direct thing, so we don't have to like RP that stuff. We can get you guys on your way.
Why did you get 4?
So we can get one for everybody.
Yeah. So you need engine coolant.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we should have some of that around. Let me ask the dock hand. And one of them runs off and comes back. Yeah, we should have that. Fine. You'll probably run you about 20 credits.
Okay, I will give them 20 credits.
Right, and they come back. Well, he goes back over to the dock and hands him the credits. And the three of them start dragging over a rather sort of like long hose with a metal circular ring at the top of it. And okay, which one of these is the correct nozzle for this? There's like 7 of them here.
Didn't tell him which check. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Make
Should I roll
an intelligence
Should
check.
I roll or intelligence?
You have them while staring at the back in the engineering base, staring at the control, like the console there. So I'll give you advantage.
Thank fuck, because that was a 3.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Oh, 7, fuck off.
Oh, luck today.
No, I have no idea where it is.
Well, you're going to have to find out because we can't put it in the wrong one unless one of them's going to be your fuel line. And if we put coolant in your fuel line, that's going to be terrible.
Can I just scan it?
How would you scan it?
You're a casino bot. What are you scanning?
Okay, fair.
You're designed to speak every language and take people's money.
Wait, give me that money back. I'm not supposed to give you the money. Okay, should I roll again, or should I just like look? Should I just be careful? I'm just going to put it in a random one.
Well, there's a couple of options you've got. You can either guess.
I can't help you. You're on your own.
Or go back inside.
Oh, thanks.
And
I can't. I'm not here.
You can go back inside and find out.
I will go back inside and find that out.
After looking through the schematics a little bit and the works manual with Alex, you figure out that one of them is particularly the coolant one. And going back out, you point it out to them and they fix the hose and turn the generator on to start pumping. After about 2 minutes, there's a little green light on the generator to say that it can't pump anymore. And they disconnect the hose after shutting off the valve. And yeah, you seem to be full of coolant again. Right.
Okay.
So from here point onwards, fuck the RP because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
How much food do you guys want?
What we need to get enough to go to our next stop.
So that's
basically.
about 2.5 weeks.
Mm.
So 2.5 weeks of food.
So you need to get something here then, not just a lot.
We had what, a couple of days?
You had
already,
about 3 days worth of rations on board.
So we don't need massive amount. We don't need 2 weeks exactly.
But those rations were here before you were.
Yeah, it might be at a date. Okay. Then we'll get a couple of weeks worth then, and we'll just make sure.
I'll say that'll run you about 100 credits total.
Cool. I'll pay that. That's not. 100, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. No, not add.
No, remove that. You don't get the food and the credits.
Just knock them out. Run! No, okay, yeah, no, I've taken the 100 off, so
nice.
I'll take all the Russians back.
Yeah.
Rations back. First.
Yeah, it's general like some canned foods, a couple of like standard rationed meals, but most of it's sort of generally like flash frozen stuff that you could use in the ship's galley, stuff like that.
Cool. That bit either way then.
And yeah, after sort of 5-10 minutes of making sure everything's in its correct places, you're ready for takeoff.
Put all the cupboard back that Una knocked open.
Yeah. Carefully this time, making sure it's not booby-trapped.
Yeah.
Although that might have been the acceleration judders from the removing yourselves from the orbit of a black hole.
That could have been just the ship going.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, let's go and put all stuff away, and then we'll head back. I mean, well, we probably should sit here for a little while and everything sort of cool down a bit, because it's gonna be a fun getting out.
Mm-hmm.
It's going with fun getting out, and by fun I mean not fun.
Yeah.
And by not fun I mean round 2.
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo. Again.
I will say we'll go with a little bit of the brevity here. Can you make 3 piloting rolls for me, please?
3 piloting rolls.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're allowed 1 failure.
Brother, don't say that right now. As soon as you said failure, Nat 1.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
So no failures anymore, gang. Okay, that is going to be a 19.
Nice.
Thank the Lord. And a 18.
Okay.
Thank fuck.
So the wind does take you a lot off course whilst getting up into orbit, and you like sort of bash your way through like a storm cloud as it buffets you quite badly. Right, and all of the stuff on Bashi gets absolutely creamed around the entirety of the living quarters, and Bashi wakes up in a stupor like, what the f is going on?
Oh shit, what about me? Because I think I might be on still.
You're in your seat, which is quite good.
Okay.
And it's been long enough that you've woken up and you're kind of a little bit dizzy still, a little bit dazed, but you're conscious. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why Alex isn't getting advantage on those piloting checks, because you're not helping him.
I've had to do it with you being unconscious.
But once you actually get into orbit and the wind dies down, you remember what point you got to where the gravity of the black hole wasn't so bad.
Mm-hmm.
So you aim for that point again on your exit of the star system, and manage to keep it relatively stable, relatively smooth. There's a couple of moments where you just like you start feeling yourself starting to drift one way, and you quickly like fire some thrusters off to get yourself back on track. And yeah, you make it to the jump point. and having pre-planned the jump coordinates from when you were on the ground, you launch into hyperspace. I think that is where we will end tonight's session on the way to Tatooine.
And then we can deal with the consequences of Bashi later.
Yes.
And you get a genuine reaction. And
yeah.
I so want Reese to be here in a couple of weeks' time because I genuinely want to sit here.
Yeah.
What? Why?
Mm-hmm.
You're asleep.
Okay.
Just don't tell him until he shows.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no. Or he watches the
who would we like to raid?
If we've got anyone interesting, come on, Twitch, load at a rate.
I don't see anyone.
I'm just gonna get people on my end because I've got loads.
Yeah, I know. You follow everybody and their dog.
I follow everyone. Oh, I've got a couple.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything Star Wars related.
It doesn't necessarily have to be Star Wars related, but something.
Can we go to Insane Minion, who lurks on my streams all the time?
Yeah, sure thing. Can you post that in chat so I can see it?
Yeah, no, Insane's pretty cool. Yeah, I've got like sort of like a raccoon as that approach. They're doing stream pairs and good vibes apparently.
Alright, raid Insane Minion. Raid is up. And then
No, he alerts on my stream all the time.
Follow a message.
Oh, he does the same with me as well. He likes to lurk.
And he is a good little lurker.
There's the raid message. Copy the one that you can use.
I really need to work on mine.
I need to start doing them, honestly.
Yeah.
You can't do. Oh, I can't copy them on my iPad.
It's fine. But yeah. We will be back on Wednesday for some Valheim with Alex.
Yeah.
Valheim time.
Valheim time indeed.
Time to be Vikings.
Indeed. And the next D&D episode will be sometime in April.
Yeah.
Maybe not, because Nomi and I might be on holiday, actually.
Hang on, wait, because we do this every 2 weeks.
We are going to be on holiday.
Would be the 7th?
What day are you?
I know, in fact, no, yeah, that's the day before we go, so no, we will not be doing D&D that week. So it'll be a month's time.
Okay.